Sports.
We are Blackboard. We are Detroit.
Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is presented by
Bell Tire.
After winning 2 out of 3 against Minnesota over the weekend, Nico Goodrum and the Tigers hoping to keep the good times rolling as we welcome you to Comerica. Game 1 tonight. White Sox are in town to face your Detroit Tigers. Hi again, everyone, and welcome to Tigers Baseball. Mario and Pemba, Rhode Island, we are glad to have you with us here for Game 1 of the series. And, well, the Tigers found a little momentum, Ron, over the weekend. They won 2 out of 3. Hopefully keep that going tonight.
I really love the vibe that was here at Comerica Park over the weekend. Of course, you had the ceremony, the retiring of the number of Jack Amores, who went into the Hall of Fame with Alan Trammell, but they played some pretty good baseball against the Minnesota Twins, taking 2 out of 3, played with a lot of energy. Let's hope they do that again tonight against the White Sox.
You know, there is one guy in the lineup playing with a lot of energy, and that would be Nico Goodrum. I mean, he had a really good series against the Minnesota Twins. You look at his rookie ranks now, he's among the best in the league.
Well, he really is. I mean, he hits for power. He's hitting for average. I mean, this guy gets tons of extra base hits, and he really showed out this weekend against his former teammates. That would be the Minnesota Twins. But you talk about his overall rookie ranks. I mean, he's right up there with some of the best in all of baseball. Extra base hits, 30. He's got a lot of homers. RBIs, not too shabby. Well, he's in the top 5 in just about every offensive category. And we're talking about a guy that was supposed to be a platoon player at the beginning of the season, a guy that was not going to get consistent at-bats. But when Dixon Machado struggled at the second base position, there was Nico Goodrum to gobble up that position, and he's taken it and he has ran with it. Good for Nico.
All right, we got Game 1 in the series coming up after a quick break. Back to the Coliseum. We'll check in with Matt Shepard tonight, but coming up in this one. How about Nick Castellanos? He is really taking it to the Sox this year to a tune of a .342 average. Tigers, White Sox, it's all coming up next.
Raise your expectations of what a bank can be. Come to Comerica. And come in now to the Rams Summer Clearance Event and get ready for a great deal today. Beautiful night for baseball downtown. Nick Castellanos has done an outstanding job against Chicago. Welcome back to the Call Sand Studio. I'm Matt Shepard. Castellanos batting .342 against the White Sox this year. He has 9 career home runs against the White Sox. Castellanos and the Tigers have won 8 of their last 9 against Chicago. Nick Castellanos does not mind talking to us in front of the camera on a microphone. We haven't mic'd him up in the batting cage. We did do that with Nico Goodrum, so you know his teammates weren't going to give him a good deal of ribbing, too.
Hey. Oh, it's mic'd up. Is it mic'd up? Yeah. Get in there.
Hey everybody, it's your right fielder speaking. Coming to you from Nico's Voice Cam Live,
AKA the Zipper.
AKA Group 1.
Get it.
Park night tonight here at the Yard. The Tigers taking on the Chicago White Sox. Artie Lewicki is on the mound for the Tigers, presented by Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
It's the 13th appearance for Lewicki, his 3rd start at the major league level. Still looking for his first major league win. Artie's got a fastball that will top out at about 94. He also has a curveball, slider, and a changeup, all part of his 4-pitch mix.
So the Tigers, after winning 2 out of 3 against the Twins, welcome in the Chicago White Sox. It'll be Nicky Delmonico to get things rolling here for Chicago. Back to the Central Division. The Tigers have a lot of games against Minnesota and the Sox coming up over the next 2 weeks. First pitch fouled back by Delmonico. Nicky this year batting .221. He's got 3 homers, although he's been struggling of late. 3 for his last 21 at bats. Tigers haven't played a pull on the right side. The 0-1 pitch. Lewicki gets the call tonight for the Tigers. They've had injuries in their rotation with Michael Fulmer out on the DL. Rick Renteria guiding the Sox for the 2nd straight season. That's rolled to Nico on the grass at second. High throw, got him. 1 away. Delmonico retired. The Sox lineup tonight is presented by the Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Delmonico, Sanchez, Abreu at the top 3 spots. Daniel Palka having a good rookie season, followed by the former Tiger Garcia. Narvaez catching, and then Anderson, Moncada, and Engel rounding it out for Chicago.
Word out of the Tigers clubhouse been real hush-hush on Michael Fulmer. I haven't heard much about Michael. Have you?
Yeah, Ron Gardenhire mentioned today that he will be, in the next couple of days, making a rehab start down in Lakeland. So he is on the comeback trail, but
good news.
Don't know how long that'll take.
And told you Lewicki goes anywhere from 92 to 94 with his fastball, but when he spins that baseball up there with his curveball, he's got a really good one.
Yolmer Sanchez batting .241.
Already last worked in the Anaheim series. He worked 3 innings that day through 46 pitches. And don't know how many they'll stretch him here to today.
That's going to be trouble to the gap in left center field and all the way to the wall. Sanchez motoring to second. He will pull in with a 1-out double.
I don't know what it is about Yolmer when the Tigers show up, man, but he's got a ton of triples against us this year already and a bunch of doubles too. Now he takes that fastball at about 89 miles an hour. He rips it the opposite way, and by the time Mikey Montuk and Reyes verge on it to pick it up, there's Yolmer standing at second.
That'll bring up Abreu now with 1 out.
He's always a dangerous bat with runners in scoring position. He is, however, 0 for his last 11 at bats going up against that Cleveland Indians pitching staff.
Chicago comes in having lost 5 of their last 6 games. They were down 9-1 yesterday and made it 9-7 before they finally fell.
Yeah, that bullpen of the Cleveland Indians had been getting better since they made the additions of the trade with the San Diego Padres, but that bullpen really struggled yesterday against the White Sox. They nearly coughed up that lead.
Maybe that Cleveland bullpen is bigger in name than actually talent these days. I don't know. I mean,
yeah, could be.
Miller's been hurt. Cody Allen's just been average.
He hasn't pitched that well this year. They were hoping that the Hand kid and also Simber they got from the Padres would help him out.
It'll dive low and away. 1 ball and 1 strike on Abreu.
And one thing that we've noticed about Abreu, if you overshift on him in the infield, and Nico is not really overshifting, but he's almost up the middle. He will take it and drive the ball the other way through this hole right here. He's one of those guys like Miguel Cabrera, JD Martinez. If you give them an RBI chance by opening up one part of the diamond for them, they'll try to shoot that hole.
Two and 1 now on Abreu. 20 home runs this year, 67 driven in.
Already 33 doubles. He is one of the best hitters in the American League. Did you know, Mario, he batted 9th in the American League All-Star game this year?
I did, I remember that.
He batted 9th.
Maybe the only time in his life, even Little League. Runner going to third base, quick throw down, tag, got him at third base. McCann guns down Sanchez.
Sanchez might not want to go back to the dugout. I mean, you got Abreu standing in the batter's box. He's driven in 966 already this year. He drives in 100 every single year. And you're going to try to steal third base? My goodness, Yolmer.
He's out.
He's way out. What's he thinking about?
Well, the White Sox come in with 79 steals. That is good for 4th in the league. This was ill-advised,
especially with Abreu in the batter's box.
So they're empty now. 3-1 on Abreu.
Nice throw by McCann. Nice tag by Jamer.
In the air to left, fairly deep, playable though. It's going to be Matuk, and that'll end the inning. Little help there from James McCann, who cuts down Sanchez. Beautiful night here in the Motor City. 82 degrees is our temperature here at game time. Tigers starting lineup tonight is presented by the Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. And for Ron Gardhard tonight, it's Candelario, Iglesias, and Nick Castellanos. Goodrum batting cleanup. Then V-Mart and Aducey. Your bottom three is Matuk, who is called up, followed by McCann and Reyes and Reynaldo Lopez tonight. Presented by MGM Grand Detroit.
Hey, Lopez has got a power arm, and he's pitching some of his best baseball in the month of August. Overall this year, just 4 wins because they don't score for him. He's lost 9. Fastball gets up to 98. He likes a slider and his change. He also has a curveball, so he throws 4 pitches as well.
Shifting on the right side against Candelario, who gets it started, batting .227 for the Tigers.
Jamer had a nice day yesterday. Really played well defensively over the weekend. And one thing the Tigers know about Lopez, he will challenge them with fastballs. He throws his fastball about 60% of the time, which is high for a starter these days.
Lopez stands only 5'11", but a 200-pounder out of San Pedro de Macorís. 24 years of age, Lopez. Now the 2-1.
Flash Gordon. Tom Gordon was another pitcher that stood about 5 feet 11 inches with a power fastball, 96, 97, and a power curveball. He was a good closer for a long time.
Lopez recently has been pretty good in 2 starts this month, a 1.93 earning. Here's the 2-2. Lifted toward left, but slicing. Gandy, 2 hits and RBI yesterday for the Tigers, 2 out of 11 in the Minnesota series.
Lopez really likes his breaking ball in 2-2 counts. And some of the data that we've compiled. See what he does here to Candy in the 2-2 count. There's that slider.
Did that go, says Larry Vanover down at third. Now 3-2 on Jamer.
Yeah, nice take here by Jamer. You see the slider. And at 2-2, he likes to throw that pitch quite a bit.
Another ball hit toward left field, slicing, and it's going to drop just out of the reach of Yolmer Sanchez.
This has already been a productive at-bat for Jamer. He's about to see his 8th pitch versus Ronaldo Lopez.
And the guy on deck, Iglesias, has been able to take a nice long look at him.
Getting a really good look where he's standing in that batter's box, too, as Iglesias. Almost like he's standing directly behind Jamer Candelario, getting a good look at Lopez.
3-2 is outside. Oh, he went around. Larry Vanover called him out. One gone.
Yeah, well, Vanover's got the best look of anybody. Let's take a peek. Yep.
Good call.
Good call by Larry.
That'll bring up Iglesias. 3 for 10 in the Minnesota series.
Iglesias has been in that number 2 spot for about a week now. He's starting to do better there. I was worried about him a little bit earlier when he was elevated to that number 2 spot. His at-bats just weren't that good the first couple of days he went up there, but he's gotten back on track.
Well, to say he was comfortable batting 8th would be an understatement. Iglesias drove in some runs down there. 43 RBIs from the 8th spot, which is the best in the major leagues.
Yeah. I probably wouldn't have wanted to move from that number 8 spot either.
Yeah.
Got a fan keeping score out there tonight, partner.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. It's refreshing to see because nowadays people just pull the iPad out and keep score on the iPad. You know what I mean?
He almost got here a little bit late because he's still filling out the lineups.
He's getting them in there, though.
He's speed writing right now. 2-2 on Iggy.
And told you that Ronaldo does not get a whole lot of run support from his team. He's made over 20 starts, and they've only averaged barely over 3 runs per game for Ronaldo.
Right to the center fielder angle for the second out.
Well, center field is one place where you do not want to hit it because the guy in center field, Engel, is a tremendous defender, and he makes human highlight film type plays every single night. In the infield, third to first, they read Yolmer Sanchez, Anderson, Moncado Abreu, and Omar Narvaez is the starting catcher. There's Engel. They say he can really run too, partner.
Nobody really talks about him around the league. Everybody talks about Buxton and Kiermaier. There's a bouncer up the middle that finds a hole. A 2-out single for Nick.
You're absolutely right. But they are starting to talk about Engel a little bit as he has played the kind of baseball that he's played this year in center field. There's not many better center fielders than him, if any.
Must have a little scouting report in his hat.
Yeah.
That'll bring up Goodrum now with 2 outs. How about Nico? He went from trying to make the team in spring training as a utility guy
to your cleanup hitter.
To your cleanup hitter in August. What a year for Nico. They're playing him to pull. And he'll pull it, but right to the second baseman. Moncada will throw him out to retire the side. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left. We go to the second. We see that he went to Georgia Tech, and boy, he hit some home runs there, didn't he?
Hit 41 home runs there. He was a teammate with our very own Buck Farmer. He's hit a lot of home runs here in his rookie campaign. He has 18 of those, so you got to be careful with Polka. He's got a lot of pop in his bat. Swing straight up.
He held up on the first pitch, 1-0.
I told you the last time we played them, he reminds me so much of Ken Phelps, who played for Seattle and the Yankees. Same type of stance, same type of swing, everything. Looks just like Digger. Digger was his nickname.
Digger Phelps?
Yeah.
That's a great
We might have to
nickname.
dig up some video on him the next couple days so we can do the comparison. I mean, I saw that first pitch and it came right back to my mind.
Big rip there.
He got one thing on his mind, partner.
Hitting the ball far.
Hitting the ball out of the ballpark.
Did you play with Phelps?
Yeah, I did play with Digger in Seattle one year.
The 1-2. Lewicki missing up and in. Polka 232. He's knocked in 47. Leads all rookies with his 18 homers in the American League. Given time now by home plate umpire Chris Guccione. Now the 2-2, and it's low, 3-2. Tigers have really had their way with the White Sox this year. They have won 8 of the 9 they played against them.
Yep.
And really overall, the Tigers have done fairly well in the Central. They're just 1 under 500. Swing and a miss. See you later. He went fishing.
McLaren Health Plan brings you the Tiger starting defense. And Mikey Montauk is back up from the minors after Jacoby Jones landed on the disabled list with the hamstring injury yesterday. Reyes gets to start out in center field. Castellanos is back out in right field here today after the afternoon off yesterday. Candelario, Iglesias, Goodrum, Aducey, the same way they rounded out the infield yesterday, and James McCann is back behind the plate.
Good to see Mikey back up. Certainly don't want to see Jacoby go on the DL, but Montauk gets another opportunity.
I was talking to Mikey Montauk today around the batting cage, and I was asking him about that almost catch that he made a couple of days ago off the bat of Vladimir Guerrero Jr. They were playing against the Mud Hens. He said, I thought I had it. He said he could feel his glove was heavy, but when he came down, the ball wasn't in it. He almost made a great play. And he also told me that Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
Legit?
is legit.
Yeah.
He's the truth.
Yeah, everybody has said that. Shouldn't be too long before he's in the Blue Jays lineup. Garcia is scuffling a bit this year. He's put on the DL twice. That hamstring has been an issue again for him.
Yeah, he made an all-star team last year, did Avi. They thought he turned the corner, but injuries haven't allowed him to produce the way that he is capable of producing. But he's always played well against the Tigers.
Well, 53 RBIs in 71 games against his former team.
A small sample size, but it's like what Nico Goodrum's doing against his former team, the Minnesota Twinkies.
Taking all the way now, 3-1 on Garcia. One out here in the second, no score. Game 1 in this 3-game set. Pulled foul now, 3-2.
Time for StatCast AI powered by AWS. You can see how they play. Avi Garcia. Nico Goodrum standing right there where he hits 23% of his ground balls, 38 to the shortstop position, 26 down to Candelario. If he hits it on the ground, hopefully he hits it right at one of those guys.
He'll take his walk. First one in the ball game now for Lewicki. Hey, Menards brings you the big money encounter. We're talking about how lopsided the season series has been. Here's some of the numbers.
Yeah, Tigers have scored more runs, obviously, and the team ERA is a whole lot better. That's really the two numbers you need to look at.
Here is Omar Narvaez. He has been one of their better hitters of late. 357 over his last 37 games. So it's been a really good stretch for the catcher. It's a really great opportunity for Lewicki here. He's going to get some starts down the stretch, and as Ron Gardner said before the game today, he has proven he can win at the minor league level. Now the next step is do it up here.
It's his 13th appearance this year in a Tiger uniform, his 3rd start of the season. He was a starter down in the minor leagues. Won a bunch of games last year, 12 of those to be exact. Or did he win 14?
14
games?
last year.
14 games last year.
Already in the minor leagues, a career 3.5 ERA. Ball high, 2-0 now on Narvaez. Well, more balls than strikes early on here for Lewicki. This is what Narvaez does. He doesn't chase a whole lot. His on-base percentage has always been very good in his major league career. Making Lewicki work here. And again, it'll take outside, 3-0. Tim Anderson lurking on deck for Chicago. White Sox, like the Tigers, in the middle of a rebuild. They, of course, sold off a lot of their parts last year. And there's ball 4 up high. It'll be back-to-back walks with only 1 out. Stay tuned to Tigers Live following the game. That's when we select the Fox Sports Detroit Tigers Player of the Game, presented by McDonald's. Early mound visit here as McCann goes out along with the Candyman.
Might not want to throw Tim Anderson a first pitch fastball here. I mean, he's a small guy, but he's got some lightning quick hands, and he's got a lot of pop in his bat. 15 homers, he's driven in 48, and he's done some major damage this year against Tigers pitching. He's destroyed Tigers pitching this year. 367 is his average.
Early scoring chance now for Chicago. 2 walks. Anderson batting in the 7th slot tonight. And it's in there, strike called.
And 90-mile-per-hour fastball right down the middle that Anderson didn't offer at.
Now Lewicki with the 0-1. Popped up right side of the infield. That'll be a Ducey. He is under it to make the play. Runners will hold. 2 gone. And that'll bring up Yohan Moncada. We're talking about the rebuild that the Chicago team is undergoing right now, and one of the big pieces coming back is this guy right here, Moncada. Lucas Giolito is in the rotation, and he has struggled. Moncada has struggled a lot with the strikeouts, and I guess it just goes to show you that prospects are just that, prospects.
I'm surprised, though, that he has struck out 167 times already, though. I heard his bat-to-ball skills were much better than that when he was in the minor leagues. He's on pace to strike out 231 times this year.
That would be a big league record.
This White Sox team, they swing and miss a lot anyway. In their last 7 games, they have averaged at least 10 strikeouts in every single game. For a week straight, they have punched out at least 10 times every game. It's tough to win games like that.
It all goes back to that one term we hear over and over, productive outs.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you can make an out, but it'll be a productive out where you might advance a runner, score a run.
Yeah, strikeouts aren't productive.
Nope, nothing happens, but you walk back to the bench and that's it.
However, when you get Moncada in this count, his power shows up. He's got 15 homers.
2-1 on Moncada.
For whatever reason, Artie having a difficult time with throwing strikes, and that is usually not the case for Artie.
Swing and a miss. 2-2.
Good pitch. It's a fastball count, and he threw him something off speed. And Moncada was fooled and out in front. It's a changeup that he came right here. You can see it. Almost looks like a forkball grip, but came off the fingertips nicely at 83 miles an hour.
Got him. Strike 3. Moncada strikes out again, this time looking, and they'll strand 2. When we come back, we have Niko Goodrum mic'd up. We'll get a little flavor of that when we return.
Do it, Rayford. Do it. Look how far that went.
My wrist feels really
Nice. You look very good.
I haven't
Everything is there.
Is it mic'd up?
Yeah. Get in there.
Hey everybody,
It's
it's your right fielder speaking. Coming to you from Nico's Voice Cam Live,
AK the Zipper.
aka Group 1.
Get it.
It's Niko Goodrum, who is mic'd up during batting practice, and Nick having a little fun with it. Tiger Sox go to the bottom of the second, and it'll be Victor Martinez to lead things off. Every single team seems to play like this against Victor.
Every night.
1-0 is outside, 2-0.
Victor's gotten a couple of hits over the weekend the opposite way, though. He did hit it right into the shift in one of his at-bats yesterday, but he also had a base hit to left field.
Martinez was 2 out of 9 in the Minnesota series, and back on the last road trip against the Angels actually recorded his 1,000th hit as a Tiger. He's got better than 2,000 for his career. Here's the 2-1. Rolled to the right side softly, backhanded there by Abreu. He will lead Lopez for the out. One gone. Hey, in honor of Jack Morris' number retirement from now until midnight tonight, you can save up to 47% off select lower level seats to 6 upcoming games, courtesy of Fox Sports Detroit. Just go to Tigers.com. Use the coupon code JACK47 during checkout. That's coupon code JACK47. And there's the latest addition to the retired numbers out in left field.
Looks good out there, doesn't it?
Looks great. So will the number 3 in a couple of weeks. And Alan Trammell gets his affixed to the wall in left center. Ducey looks at a ball low, 2-0. .258 for a Ducey at the major league level. Couple of homers up here. And now he's gone 3-0. Ducey had 3 hits in that Twins series. He is now seeing a lot of the reps at first base with Hicks on the DL. He'll take all the way. Strike call.
All 3 of those hits came in one game for a Ducey. I believe it was Friday.
Yeah, triple and 2 singles.
Chokes up ever so slightly on the bat.
In the air toward left field. Hit pretty good. Polk is on the move. Has room. Right at the edge of the warning track. 2 gone. Well, as you have a Miller Lite and enjoy a Miller Lite, look forward to the whole true moments later in tonight's game. Here's Matuk back in the big leagues. Mikey with Jacoby Jones going on the DL with that hamstring problem.
And Mikey had 11 home runs and 35 RBIs while playing for the Mud Hens.
Always wonder about guys that have to go down. He had a big month of September last year. Pretty good year overall, and came into spring camp pretty much a lock for the left field position. Little chopper toward the shortstop Anderson. Quick release is in time for the out. Adam Engel has made some unbelievable catches this week. You got to see these if you haven't. We'll show you coming up next.
Early last week, the White Sox center fielder Adam Engel capped it off yesterday. Another one. He robs a homer at the wall that was expected by Indians' Yonder Alonso. It was in the 8th inning. Saved 2 important runs, but the White Sox lost 9-7. Back at the Coliseum studio, what's the key to making a play like that, Steve?
Well, first you have to have athleticism, and Engel definitely has that, but he also has to have great awareness of where the wall is, and he did exactly what you're supposed to do. Read it and just go up and make a play.
Mario Rod, that's 3 for him last week. We've seen a ton of really good outfield play this year. Guys robbing home runs. Jacoby Jones, one of the many, of course.
Well, I was about to say Engel really can't offer much with the bat, and then he slices one to right field. It gets through, and he'll go to second base.
Yeah, he needed that double yesterday, and had he gotten a double yesterday, he would have hit for the cycle. Not only did he make that great catch, but he singled, tripled, and homered. Here are the other catches that he made earlier in the week. And that's taking another home run away in the left center field gap. And then the next catch looks pretty identical to this one. And the key to all these catches is the fact that he didn't get too close to the wall, and he was able to elevate. He was able to jump up and make the catches. Sometimes we see outfielders get too close to the wall, Mario, and then when they jump right into the wall, and they're not able to elevate to make those fantastic plays that Engel was able to make last week.
Here is Delmonico with the leadoff man at second, and he'll look at his strike. You played a lot of years at a lot of different levels. How many of those did you make? Did you ever be able to go up there and snatch one back?
Yeah, I think in Japan I might have made a couple of catches like that over the wall.
So did that feel better than hitting a home run?
No, not to me. I ain't gonna tell that lie.
I love it.
I ain't gonna tell that story.
Because a lot of guys will say, yeah, man, it's better than hitting a home run. But
I'll take that homer, man. But the whole key to that play is you got to know where you're at, and then you can't jump into that wall. If you jump into that wall, you're not going to be able to elevate and make plays. This guy was a 3-sport star in high school, though. I mean, he played some football, he played some basketball. He was an outstanding football player.
Oh, that got on the hand.
Got Delmonico somewhere.
They're calling it a foul ball, I believe. That thing drilled him. Well, now he's taking his base. Actually, they were appealing to see if he had swung at the pitch, but did not. Ooh, I don't know. Hand or the knob of the bat?
Well, it looks like to me, Mario, that it got a hand, because if it would have got the knob of the bat, it wouldn't have gone back foul like that. I'm thinking it probably would have either gone a little further into fair territory had it gotten the bat.
That's a good point. 2 on now with nobody out. A painful way to take your base for Delmonico. That'll bring up Yolmer Sanchez, who doubled but did not score in the first. He was thrown out trying to steal third.
I don't think that Engel will try to steal a bag here with nobody out. Runners on first and second, but you do have to watch him closely. Engel can really run. He has 12 steals this year. He's only been caught 3 times.
Candelario tight at third in case he's thinking bunt. He shows it, drives one down anyway. Jamer on the bare hand, his throw not in time, and Yolmer Sanchez with a bunt single with the third baseman pulled in. That did not dissuade him at all.
Well, Candelario was cheating a little bit, but he wasn't cheating enough, and Yolmer Sanchez has already doubled and now an outstanding bunt. But take a look at the technique right here for you kids at home. He bends his knees ever so slightly. Look at the knees. He bends the knees, and he keeps the bat right where he doesn't want to bunt a ball any higher than that, and he just deadens it, and the ball goes right down to the ground. I mean, you cannot do it any better than Sanchez did it right there. That is perfect bunting technique.
Well, it's the most unenviable of positions now for Lewicki. You've got Abreu up there with the bases loaded, nobody out. He flied to left in his first at bat. He'll drive this one to center field on a line. Here comes Reyes on the charge. Runner will tag. Throw coming home. Not in time. Sac fly and an RBI for Jose Abreu. Engel too fast to throw him out.
It's a nice throw by Reyes because he kept the throw low enough to where the runners couldn't advance. And that's what you want to accomplish. You want to make sure that if you do throw that ball home on a questionable play, because you're not probably going to throw Engel out, he's too fast, you can't allow those other guys to advance 90 feet, and he did a nice job of keeping that ball low enough.
RBI 68 now for Abreu. Here's Daniel Palka, who struck out on a pitch out of the strike zone in his first at bat. Ball one.
Here's that throw from Reyes, and take a look at the base runners. I mean, they all go back to tag. They want to tag. The second base runner, second wants to tag, and then that throw home, they just freeze because the throw's low. I mean, you're taught as a base runner, if you see that throw come high out of that outfielder's hand, that you can go to that next base.
Artie continues to struggle throwing strikes as he misses high and away, in the count now 2-0.
Artie still has thrown more balls than strikes. A total of 43 pitches. 23 have missed the strike zone.
Two and one on Polka. Polka on Friday hit a walk-off home run. That was against Cleveland. There's a photo up in the stands on that foul ball.
Yeah. Got some comfy seats too, don't they?
Yeah. Swing and a miss. 2-2.
Good pitch. Lewicki has thrown some off-speed pitches today in fastball counts, and he's gotten some awkward swings, which is not uncommon. Most guys are dialed in for that fastball in the 2-1 count.
Bouncer back up the middle and through. He beat the shift. Rounding third and coming home is Delmonico. Throw to third base, not in time. Throw to second, not in time. And the White Sox lead 2-0.
It's a nice at bat there by Polka, who does not hit balls in that direction very often. But with 2 strikes, you could tell that he could see that there was a vacated hole over there. Was the ball up in the strike zone. He hit it right toward the shortstop position to plate Delmonico.
Single, second on the throw, and RBI for Polka.
If you're Artie Lewicki, you throw that ball and you say, yeah, that's a double play ball.
Exactly.
And then all of a sudden you turn around and you're like, oh, no.
I was saying the same thing. Garcia swings and misses, and that's what we were talking about the other day. I wonder how many of these pitchers are really buying into the shifting.
Yeah, especially in double play situations.
Garcia walked in the second. One ball and 1 strike.
And Garcia will chase some pitches, even though he has really good career numbers against the Tigers. If you do get ahead of him, he will expand the strike zone. Dead pull hitter when he hits the ball on the ground for the most part. And you got to hurry when he hits a ground ball, because Avi gets down that line in a hurry.
Only 160 this year with runners in scoring position for Garcia.
Yeah, he's been struggling this year. 13 homers, 26 driven in, after making an all-star team last year in a breakout season. He nearly won a batting title last year, didn't he?
Yeah, almost. He was up there all year long. But 2 stints on the DL with a hamstring injury this year. Lewicki now is at 50.
His last start in the minors came earlier in the month, and he threw, well, later last month he threw 76 pitches in that outing. He threw 40+ pitches a few days ago in Anaheim.
Fought that one off, and Garcia stays alive. Narvaez will be next. Still only 1 out, 2 runs in for the Chicago White Sox.
Avi Garcia hit .330 last year. Jose Altuve hit .346 and won the batting title. But it was a career year for Avi.
Just got a piece of that off-speed pitch. Garcia came up in the Tigers system, got to the big leagues briefly with Detroit. while Lewicki trying to minimize the damage here. High fly ball into right center field. Reyes measuring it. Runner tagging. Here comes Sanchez. He's going to try and score, and he will. Throw coming into third base. It'll be a sac fly for Garcia. And now 3-0 Chicago.
Chicago playing some small ball here in the third. Hit batter, a bunt base hit, a couple of sacrifice flies, and Polka beating the shift with a single the opposite way. So not necessarily beating Lewicki up, but scoring runs.
Let's bring in Mickey York now with more on Mr. Lewicki.
Yeah, guys, 53 pitches now for Artie, and Rod, you hit the nail on the head. The ball to strike ratio almost 50-50 so far, just a few more strikes than balls. And Ron Gardner said before the game today the key for him would be locating his pitches. He's not a guy that's going to overpower you, but the location has been a little erratic so far tonight. And talking to Artie the other day about this opportunity he has in front of him, you know, he's a pretty cool customer when you talk to him, but he realizes what a chance this is for him, a chance to maybe nail down this spot in rotation for the remainder of the season and perhaps give the Tigers some food for thought going into last year. Even when Michael Fulmer comes back, they're still going to need another arm in that rotation. Lewicki would very much like to be the guy, but this start perhaps weighing a little heavily on him in that regard.
I think Artie's going to be okay, Mick, once he just gets some consistent reps. I mean, we've talked about the fact that he's been in the games 13 times up here, only 3 starts, and he goes back down to the minors and he's starting down there. Then he comes up here, he's back in the bullpen. He really hasn't been able to get on a really good routine up here. But I think once he does get in a good routine up here, if it is as a starter, I think Artie will be okay.
Yeah, certainly he has a demeanor to be that guy, and he really, as he said in our conversation, has no preference whether it's out of the bullpen or is starting, but primarily, of course, that's what he was doing in Toledo, was starting. So I think ultimately that's where he sees himself with this team. But you know, these starts are important for a guy like Artie Lewicki, no question about that, and it's obviously not the start he wanted to get off to tonight.
14 wins last year in the minors. That was seventh most in the minor leagues. Here's the 1-2, and it's drilled to center field. Reyes coming in, still coming, and he'll make the catch. Hitting over, but the White Sox score 3 as we go to the bottom of the third. Here at Comerica this year.
Backed by popular demand.
Yeah, very popular. Right now the White Sox have a 3-0 lead. And James McCann leads it off. Here is the Bernstein advantage. Here's the one guy in the lineup that has done really well against Lopez.
Yeah, Lopez throws a lot of fastballs, and apparently James McCann has been up for that challenge. 5 for 9 with a double and triple and a couple of stakes against Lopez.
McCann followed by Reyes and then Candelario. Lopez had a 1-2-3 second.
And McCann had the afternoon off yesterday. Grayson Griner and caught Matthew Boyd. How about Boyd yesterday, man? Boyd was good yesterday.
Yeah, Matthew gave up that early run in the second, and then after that, man, it was lights out.
Yeah, he got a lot of swings and misses on his breaking ball, man, but boy, did he strategically use that fastball to his advantage. Inside to the lefties, inside to the righties.
Matt Boyd yesterday at one point retired 13 straight.
Yeah.
That's how good he was.
And Rick Anderson there having a conversation with Green and Hardy and Matthew Boyd.
Hard hit ball to left, base hit. So the mastery continues for McCann.
If you were McCann and you saw Lopez was pitching today, you just knew you're going to get a couple of hits because you see the ball very well against him. Certain guys, a lot of guys just have success against. It's a little breaking ball there at 82 miles an hour. There was McCann waiting for it, ripped it right past the shortstop, Tim Anderson.
6 for 10 now against Reynaldo Lopez.
Yeah, Yomer Sanchez at third base is about 3 steps in on the grass at third base. He's not going to allow Victor Reyes to bunt in his direction. Victor will bunt on occasion. This is about where you have to play if you're at third base, and you know a guy's in the batter's box that wants to bunt, and somewhere in here it really gives you time to recognize it and get in there and make a play.
Now Lopez with the 1-0. Reyes looks at a strike.
Reyes had a big hit yesterday when the Tigers were able to score 3 runs in the 5th inning against Minnesota. Griner had a great at-bat. Reyes with a good at-bat. Candy. Iggy had a long at-bat. A nice walk by Nico Goodrum.
Tried to frame it outside, but he missed. 2-1. Ronnie Rodriguez had a huge hit too.
Yes, he did.
RBI double in the 8th inning, extended the Tigers' lead to 2.
Yeah, that was after a Nico walk and a Nico steal.
Here's the 2-1. By the way, if the Tigers combine for 3 or more home runs in this game, simply bring a copy of the box score to a participating Arby's location tomorrow and get a free small order of curly fries. Lopez now with the 2-2. Speaking of home runs, Lopez 3 starts ago allowed 5 home runs in a game against Toronto.
He's given up quite a bit. 20 of them, I think, this year.
So we'll see if the Tigers can reach curly fry status tonight.
I think Lopez at times tries to bully good hitters with his fastball in fastball counts.
That'll get away. McCann will advance. Did not go, so it's 3-2 now with a runner at second. Wild pitch.
It's a nice jump at first base by James McCann. He's a catcher himself, and he knows how difficult it would be for Narvaez to not only pick that ball and keep it in front of him, but then get up and throw him out at second base. It's nice court awareness by Tigers catcher.
Slow roller hit toward third. This will advance the runner. Reyes will move McCann to third base.
It's a great at bat by Reyes.
Let's bring in Mickey York again. Mick.
Well, guys, as you know, we think of center field here at Comerica Park as no man's land. In this series, it very well could be Adam Engel's land. You guys showed the catches he made last week a little earlier in the broadcast, robbing those 3 home runs in a series against the Yankees and the Indians. When I asked him about the challenges of playing here at Comerica Park, his eyes got wide, and he said playing center field here is like playing nowhere else. And I said, well, are you to the point, though, where you expect to make those spectacular catches because you've been doing it so often? He says, I don't know if I necessarily expect to make those catches, but I certainly prepare to make those catches. And Rod, he has that unique skill set, that third fastest outfield sprint speed in the majors behind Byron Buxton and Billy Hamilton. You know how fast those guys are. So when you start talking about some of the center fielders that can cover the most ground in this game, Adam Engel is certainly working himself into that conversation.
Yeah, for Engel to get his name mentioned in the same breath as those other two sprinters, you know he can really fly in the outfield. And one other thing that Engel does very well is he prepares to make those plays. And it's like the conversation we had yesterday regarding Jacoby Jones, Mario. He anticipates that every single ball is going to be hitting his direction, and therefore it allows him to get those great routes. And with that speed that he has, he just runs down everything. He must feel like a kid in a candy store out in center field today with all that real estate.
Meanwhile, 2-0 on Candelario. And he'll look at a strike.
Ooh, runner on third, less than 2 outs. That's a good pitch to hit for Candy, although the velo was 98. That may be the hardest pitch that Reynaldo Lopez has thrown tonight. Tigers have got to score this run.
Three and one now on Candy. Waiting on deck is Iglesias. What makes the outfield here so challenging? Is it 420 to center? Is it the expansive gaps?
I don't know if it's considered challenging. I think a lot of center fielders really love to play center field here because you've got so much room to roam. I mean, you don't really have to worry about running into the fences. And if you're an athletic guy like Engel or Buxton or any of those guys, I think you like playing center field here. So I don't see it as a challenge.
High fly ball to center. Engel sizing this one up. McCann will tag. Engel will make the catch. He's just going to air it out. And the throw, not in time. He made it close.
He's something out there, man.
RBI for Candelario.
It's the only time that you can airmail the cutoff man when there's nobody else on base and there's a runner on third, and you can just let it all hang out because you know the other base runners, because there's nobody out there going to advance. And Engel just lets it all hang out. He tried to make a throw like that kid Laureano did a couple of days ago from the Oakland Athletics from center field.
That is momentum behind it, and aired it out. McCann slides in ahead of the tag. Tigers on the board now, 3-1. They're empty with 2 outs.
And Tigers manufactured a run there. Base hit, wild pitch. And Reyes got him over, and Candelario got him in. Good situational baseball.
Iglesias fly to center field, his only time up. That thing got in on his hands and he fouled it straight back. 1-2. We're talking about all the games the Tigers are playing against Minnesota and Chicago. They had 3 against Minnie. They've got 3 here in Chicago. They go to Minnesota. They have Chicago again next week. So the way the schedule has worked out here in the month of August, they're going to get real comfortable with the teams in their division. Still have a road trip to New York coming up. The 2-2 is fouled back. Castellanos on deck. Well, they got Lewicki a run back. He allowed 3 in the top of the inning. Chopper to third. Going to have to hurry. Sanchez charging. Got him by half a step.
Nice job by Sanchez. Do or die play, and he needed to be quick.
Tigers baseball tonight presented by Bell Tire.
commentate then. That almost got me. What we got going right here now is Santiago. And if you're not careful, Santi will work you to death. So I got so caught up with my commentating that I missed the grounder. Y'all got me in trouble with Santi. I was looking over there at the camera, y'all got me in trouble with him. They got me in trouble with you. The camera people.
Oh, it's okay.
I got fined $50.
Nico Goodrum was mic'd up during batting practice today. We thank Nico for allowing us to mic him up, get some kind of inside flavor. I think that's always cool.
Absolutely. Good sport. He had a good time with it.
Tim Anderson is starting off the fourth, 3-1 ball game. Tigers trail. Little chopper, third base side for Candelario. One away. Anderson now is 0 for 2. That'll bring up Yohan Moncada. The Wiki could really benefit from a 1-2-3 inning here. He had a lengthy third in which he gave up 3 runs. Pitch count at 60 right now for Lewicki.
And Tigers would love to see Artie get through 5 here today. And that way Ron Gardenhire will not have to dip into his bullpen that much. He does have some guys in his bullpen that can pitch multiple innings. That would be Farmer, Wilson, Verhagen.
Seen a lot of 2-0 counts tonight.
Yeah, last time Moncada was up, it was a 2-0 count, and Lewicki was able to come back and strike him out.
Got him looking, as a matter of fact, with 2 men on.
And last time in this 2-1 count, he threw Moncada a straight changeup. And Moncada swung right through it, and then he took the next pitch for strike 3. See what he throws him here, 2-1. If he throws him another fastball, or if he pulls the string again. Looks like a curveball. Yep.
And they broke low and in, now 3-1. Moncada in the second half is hitting only 145. Now the 3-1 pitch. He'll take a walk. It's another base on balls for Lewicki. Artie's third of the game. Well, folks, you don't want to miss tomorrow night's Tigers White Sox game. Join us for another Fox Sports feature, Tigers Hall of Fame, where we highlight all the Tigers that have made it to Cooperstown. All of your coverage begins at 6 right here on Fox Sports Detroit. A couple of brand new Hall of Famers in Jack Morris and Alan Trammell.
Yep.
So we'll have a lot to talk about tomorrow. Those are the rest of the some of the rest of the Tiger Hall of Famers who adorn the wall out in left field.
Lou Whitaker does not know for sure, but he said on Saturday when he joined us on the set that he talked to so many Hall of Famers in Cooperstown a couple of weeks ago that they gave him a pretty good indication that a couple of years he might be there. He said he talked to Dave Winfield, he talked to George Brett, he talked to a number of guys, and most guys just believe that he should be in the Hall of Fame too. And I happen to be one of those guys.
Well, you know, the hope is that Lou doesn't get his hopes up too high. I know in the back of his mind he feels there's a good chance it may happen. We'll have John Paul Morosi on Tigers Live pregame tomorrow, and he has a Hall of Fame vote, and he will talk about his opinion. But I think when you start to look at the numbers,
he has a Hall of Fame vote for Lou or a Hall of Fame vote for
just a Hall of Fame vote. He can vote for
the Veterans Committee vote too as well.
Well, I'm not sure what he has, but he has the ability to vote for the Hall of Fame.
Well, I'm sure he'll vote for him.
Here's the 1-0 runner goes. That'll get back out of play.
I don't know if Moncada saw that it was going to be a breaking ball there, but he sure did get a really good jump. He had a good lead to begin with. And a good jump, but the ball was fouled off by Adam Engel.
1 ball, 1 strike on Engel, who doubled and scored in the 3-run third.
It's a big lead for Moncada. Got him.
"11 steals, 15 attempts for Moncada.
It's a healthy lead, 13 feet.
The White Sox with 79 steals this year, which is 4th in the American League. So that is something they're not afraid to do. We saw Sanchez trying to steal third base in the first, and he got nailed. McCann, one of your better throwers behind the dish. Driven deep to left field, down the line. That ball is hooking, and it is foul.
Woo, Adam hit that ball a long way.
Look at his numbers this year. He's got 3 home runs. Then I'm thinking, well, that's not a whole lot of power, but that ball traveled.
He got out in front of that one.
Oakley's first ball game in the D. Look at Oakley.
Yeah.
Bark in the park night here tonight, the 3rd of 4 for the Tigers this year.
It's a nice job by Artie, making sure that Moncada does not get a really good jump over there. Therefore, if he does want to try to steal a base, James McCann will have an opportunity to throw him out because he may not get a great jump.
There he goes. Ball high, throw down, tag. Got him. Oh, what a tag by Goodrum. It appeared that he got in before the ball reached second. They called him out.
It's a nice job by the Tigers. I mean, sniffing out the fact that Moncada was going to try to steal. They called for a pitch out, and it really wasn't a good pitch out by Artie Lewicki. The ball probably could have been hit by Engel, but it looked like he got him right on the backside before that right hand got on the bag. But we'll see if they decide to challenge it.
He's out. Ooh, well, yeah, he's out. Yep. No challenge.
Yep.
That is a great tag by Nico.
Take one more look at the pitch out. Artie, this ball's supposed to be further outside. You can see where James catches it. He almost catches it right over the heart of the plate, but it's a nice job sniffing that out.
That has popped up first base side of Ducey, and just like that, the threat is over. No runs, a walk, and nobody left. James McCann has caught 2. Do not run on the McKinnon.
Well, the one that got out? Man, that was the first out I ever hit. First out I never hit.
I know it was. Look at him afterwards.
Yep. I was looking at it, like the change was outside. Boom, man. The slider was just, kind of hanging. But it was just like,
How you feeling?
head down.
More sounds of the game from Nico Goodrum, who was mic'd up during batting practice before the ball game today. It'll be Castellanos, Goodrum, and Victor Martinez here in the fourth against Ronaldo Lopez in a 3-1 ball game.
Nico was talking about that ball that he hit to center field that Cave ran down his very first at bat on Friday in that Minnesota series. He said it was the furthest ball he'd ever hit, and it got ran down.
Here's the 1-1 pitch. It's looped down the left field line, going to get down. And Nick is on his way to second. He will get there. It's going to be a double for Castellanos to open up the fourth. And he is 2 out of 2 in this game.
It's a breaking ball thrown by Lopez, and Nick's out on that front foot, but his hand stayed back long enough for him to catch up with the 81-mile-per-hour slider, and he just sliced it down the left field corner. And it's good to see Nick get back on track.
Now Goodrum, who bounced out 4-3 his first time up. Tigers have their third hit of the game. 2 singles and a double. Nico fouls it back 0-1.
If Nico hit that same ground ball to the second baseman, it would be a productive out for him this time around, because he would get a runner over to third with less than 2 outs. Although he wants to do more than that, it would be a good at bat if he was able to accomplish it.
Two on Goodrum now. Lopez this year has made 3 starts against the Tigers, and his ERA in those 3 starts pretty good, 2.25.
They don't score any runs for him. They're only averaging basically 3 runs a game for Lopez.
Fly ball, center field angle, cruising over. Nick tagging, and he is going to hold. Unable to advance. His angle rushes it back in. 1 gone. And bring up V-Mart. Victor rolled out to the first baseman in his first at bat.
And Victor's going to have an opportunity to beat the shift here again if he chooses to do so. Over 2,000 hits. Victor can really handle the bat if he hits one right here, where he doesn't hit very many. You see those elevated numbers on the right side of the infield. That's why they're pinching him on that side defensively.
Lopez this year has had a much better ERA at home. In fact, his road ERA is nearly 5. Hopefully that'll mean the Tiger bats will perk up again tonight. Trying to drive in a run here in the fourth with 1 out. It'll dive low, now 2-0.
Cute puppy there.
Victor takes a rip and fouls it back out of play. 2-1. Lopez was acquired along with Lucas Giolito in the Adam Eaton trade from the Washington Nationals, part of the rebuild, and they have high hopes for this young man who has really good stuff. Here's the 2-1. Drilled to right field down the line, and that is a fair ball up against the wall. That'll get a run in. He's going for 2, and he is in with a double. Victor Martinez makes it a 3-2 ball game.
Victor has more hits against Chicago White Sox than any team that he's performed against in the majors. And he takes that ball on the inner third of home plate down in his nitro zone and rifles it off the wall. Avi Garcia comes up and makes a solid throw to second base, almost nabbing Victor Martinez, but Victor able to get there with a slide.
RBI number 37 for Martinez. Here is a Ducey now trying to tie it up. He'll drive one toward right field. Garcia makes the catch. Line drive out number 2. That'll bring up Matuk. Like Garcia was cautiously approaching that ball.
Yeah.
I don't know if it got in the lights at all.
I think what happened on that particular play is it had some backspin on it, and a lot of times it's an outfielder. You come in, then you'll see that that ball is spinning in the direction where it might carry over your head, so then you got to pause for a moment and make sure it doesn't carry over your head.
Does your heart start to beat a little faster?
Absolutely, your heart does beat a whole lot faster out there.
You start pausing and you're like, uh-oh.
That is a helpless feeling. I mean, when you're running for a ball and you're in left field or right field and that ball carries over your head because it's got that really good backspin, it's a helpless feeling. I'll be looking like he's about 19 years old.
Always had that youthful look. Here's the 0-1 to Mikey.
And Mikey could sure use a 2-out knock here. It's going to be difficult to score Victor. Yeah, but Dave Clark might do it anyway.
Mikey grounded out his first time up. Two and one.
And Lopez likes to throw change-ups in this count.
Oh, on the outside corner, and Matuk did not like the call. He got it on the outer edge.
At 95.
Two and two now on Matuk. Way outside, now 3-2. McCann waiting on deck. Lopez now is up to 63 pitches. Ronaldo set a goal coming into the season of getting to 15 wins and an ERA in the 2s. He's going to fall well short in the wins column. But again, they just have not given him a whole lot of support. Fouled away. Tigers get a double from Castellanos, a one-out double from Martinez.
Lopez has a chance to be really good in this league, man. Once he really figures out how to get ahead and expand the strike zone and pitch to the hitter's weaknesses. With his stuff, man, a 98-mile-per-hour fastball and a slider and a changeup and a curveball. You can see why that they wanted him in that trade for Adam Eaton.
Only 24 years old.
He's got a big league arm. And when I look out there, it reminds me of Luis Severino, who also wears number 40 of the New York Yankees. Severino really came into his own this year.
Pulled foul. Matuk battling here. Got a chance to tie this one up. Turning into a 7-pitch at bat.
There's Don Cooper, longtime pitching coach for the Chicago White Sox.
Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Matuk is gone. Tigers settle for one. They do so on a pair of 2-baggers. Castellanos got it started with a double, and Vimart knocked him in. For tires and auto service, everybody needs a Bell Tire guy. And it's Chevy Truck Month. Bring on the new and hand down the old. Chevrolet, find new roads. Back here at Comerica Park, we're celebrating again the 50th anniversary of the 1968 championship team. And look there at some of the tickets commemorating that championship ball club for tonight's game. Nicky Delmonico leads it off for the White Sox. Top of the order coming up, and he rolls one to second. Booted by Nico, kicks it into center field, and Delmonico will hold at first base.
I don't think I've ever seen an infielder kick a ball further than that.
He slid into it, and it just pinballed.
Hit his knee. Looked like he hit his right knee, but I've never seen a ball get kicked that far. He kicked that thing to center field. You want to laugh. You can laugh.
I'm trying not to laugh because I can't play big league baseball, but that was kind of funny. They're ruling it a base hit. Here is Yolmer Sanchez. Sanchez single-doubled. His base hit was of the bunt variety last time. Therefore, Candelario is on the grass at third, saying, go ahead, try it again.
He moved in a couple of steps closer this time to Candelario. Last time he was at the cut of the grass, and Yolmer laid down a perfect bunt.
Verhagen warming up. Swing and a miss. Lewicki's pitch count has been up most of the night. It's 73 right now, and a strike called. Got him looking. Sanchez backs out of the box. You're a Chevrolet's most dependable player, and you've got Jose Abreu who's on a list with a guy named Ted Williams and Albert Pujols. Only players in Major League history with 20 homers and 30 doubles in each of his first 5 career seasons.
He has had a marvelous start to his career ever since he came from Cuba.
Breakdown there on Artie. He's got the 0-1 coming home now. And Abreu takes inside. Jose Abreu is a .295 career hitter in the major league, so nearly 300, but this year the average at .264 coming in.
He does his best work the second half of the season. In the 4 years he's been in the big leagues, he's hit .315 the second half after the All-Star break.
Ball hammered to center field. Reyes on the move. That'll chase the runner back. 2 gone.
Here's our Xfinity high-speed pitch on Artie Lewicki. 94 his top fastball. That's just about the best his fastball will get to, and he's gone as low as 75 with his curveball. He has not thrown his curveball a lot today. I mean, Artie's got a really good curveball, but last time I checked, he'd only thrown it like 3% today. I'm sure there's a reason for it.
Daniel Palka.
Sometimes when you go over the game plan with the pitching coach and the starting catcher, the curveball might be your best pitch, but it might be a pitch that the other team hits well, so maybe you have to use something else. But he came into the contest throwing that curveball 16% of the time, so he's way down today. And the curveball right there.
It was also his 78th pitch, which equals his season high in the big leagues. He had gone over 100 twice in the minor leagues.
They've got some activity in their bullpen should Artie need some help getting out of this inning.
Polka's up there swinging.
He got one thing on his mind, man.
Just lift, separate,
leave earth. Got that big barrel chest.
Polka this year also has 3 pinch hit home runs. Now the 1-1. 1-2. Talking about Nico's rookie ranks, well, Polka is up there first in homers, 3rd in RBIs.
Yeah, Nico's up there in the same conversation with Polka in all those categories. Holds his hands down low, which means they're going to go up with the fastball. It's a good pitch. When you see a guy holding his hands right where Polka's holding his hands, that is the main reason why McCann wanted the fastball up in that area where he had called for the last one. It's tough for guys to get the hands back up to get that fastball.
Down the right field line, base hit. Delmonico hits the bag and skids to a stop. He will hold his second.
Might be it for Artie.
2 on now with 2 outs. Here comes Gardy. And it appears to be it. And the call has been made, so Gardy will go to Verhagen with Garcia due up. Artie Lewicki will throw 82 pitches in his start here tonight, depart in the 5th inning. And so the Tigers go to the bullpen. We've got a pitching change. We'll be back. What the Atlanta Braves had some good young players.
Yes, they do.
Amongst them is Ronald Acuna Jr.
Oh, he's no joke.
Who led off both ends of a doubleheader with a home run today. The first player since Brady Anderson in '99 with a leadoff home run in both games of a doubleheader. Acuna.
Future's awfully bright for the Atlanta Braves.
Ball side windows pitching change here is Verhagen.
Verhagen's ERA sits at 6.08, but those numbers early this year, he's been pitching some really good baseball lately for the Tigers. As a matter of fact, in his last 9 outings, his ERA at 2.95.
And he popped him up. He got Garcia to reach, and Garcia slams the bat to the ground, and the inning is over. No runs, 2 hits, 2 left. We go to the bottom of the 5th.
James McCann has thrown out a couple of would-be base stealers today. He got Yomer Sanchez in the first, trying to steal third base, and he got Moncada trying to steal second base on the pitch out. Nice tag by Nico Goodrum and a nice tag by Jeimer Candelario.
So McCann now has 19 catchers caught stealings this year. He came in third in the American League.
He's been good at that since coming to the big leagues. Outstanding throwing arm.
Well, Mack has a single and a run scored and 2 guys thrown out. Pretty good night. There's a strike called on McCann.
Too bad you don't get any points in a man pick the stick for throwing them cats out.
You know, I was thinking that very thought right now. We might have to draft up a letter to the commissioner.
Something. Because you got him tonight, right?
I do.
Good pick. Good pick. Good breaking ball there by Lopez. 84 miles an hour. Really slowed this one down. Oh, actually, that's a changeup.
Pounded foul, back out of play. There's another base hit for McCann. He's 2 for 2, and he continues to torture Lopez.
Lopez can't get him out.
7 for 11 against Lopez. Hey, the Tigers continue their series with Chicago tomorrow and Wednesday. Enjoy great savings with the weekday value pack for tickets, hot dogs, chips, and sodas for as little as $20 per person. For tickets, go to tigers.com/value.
I have a feeling Victor might be up there bunting for a base hit in this situation.
Sanchez snug at third on the grass, and Victor looks at ball 1. Tigers now have 5 hits.
And they're playing Reyes straight up in the infield, and they're playing him straight up in the outfield as well.
Tying run is on here, the 5th inning in a 3-2 ball game. The White Sox got 3 in the 3rd to race out to a 3-0 edge. Tigers chipping away with 1 in the 3rd, 1 in the 4th. Ball 2. Gardy today says he really didn't have any particular plan on who will play where in the outfield now that Jones is on the DL. He will continue to mix and match. And a ball low, now 3-0 on Reyes.
He wouldn't walk Victor, would he?
Starting to look like it. Top of the order, Candelario on deck. He walked him on 4 straight, and there are 2 on now with nobody out.
That is only the 3rd time he's walked in 132 at bats.
Oh my goodness. Let's bring in Mickey York.
Hey, Mario, you mentioned it was Bark in the Park night tonight. We've seen some pictures of the dogs enjoying the ball game this evening, and you also told us it's the 3rd of 4 the Tigers are doing this year. You're thinking 4 Bark in the Parks. Well, yes, they're very popular. And besides, guys, it all goes for a good cause. Proceeds from the event help benefit the Humane Society. But while we're thinking of man's best friend, our thoughts go out to Dan Dickerson and his family today. They lost their 9-year-old golden retriever, Ernie, today suddenly to an undetected illness. So we're thinking of the Dickersons tonight, and we'd like to think on Bark in the Park night that Ernie is here enjoying the game in spirit.
Yeah, Mick, thanks. Talked to Dan earlier today, and it's always, for those that are dog owners out there, devastating to lose a pet, and there's
No
Dan.
doubt.
And we send along our best wishes to the Dickersons. Dan and Lori, who had Ernie for a while. Here's the 1-0 pitch, and a strike called on Candelario. Tigers has something going now. They're down by a run, 2 on, nobody out in the 5th.
Sacrifice bunt is pretty much non-existent in baseball these days. You just don't see teams bunting very much.
Well, you know, Gibby and I talk about this a lot, and Gibby brings up what he calls the run matrix, which is basically, it's a matrix which shows you the percentages of how many runs you could score in certain situations. And the numbers say here you've got a better chance of scoring multiple runs here without giving up an out.
You can score 1 run, but you got 1 run if you bunt, but multiple runs if you don't bunt.
Correct. Here's the 1-2. Pulled on the ground and through a base hit. Here comes McCann to third. They're going to stop in there. It's a single for Candelario.
Those metrics must be true because the sacrifice bunt is most definitely gone away in professional baseball. It's a nice at-bat by Candelario. And finally getting something that he can get out in front of when he hits that ball right past Moncada, the second baseman. Moncada got a pretty good jump. He left his feet, but he just couldn't make a play. It's a great effort by Yon. James McCann running from third, not the fleetest of foot. Dave Clark with the stop sign up.
By the way, if you can't catch the games on TV, you can stream them live on your mobile device with Fox Sports Go. Download the app, take Fox Sports Detroit and Tigers baseball with you wherever you go. Made available by Oakland University. So they're loaded with nobody out. Tigers in great shape now. They've got the meat of their lineup cut up. But here's Iglesias, the number 2 hitter in the lineup.
You know, we were talking about players a couple of days ago, Mario, that wore number 99. We had Judge and we had Logan Morrison, right?
Mm-hmm.
Don Cooper, their pitching coach, also wears number 99.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, I think Coop wears 99 too.
You don't see it often. So now here is Iglesias. Soft roller back up the middle, could be 2. That's a 6-3 double play.
Iglesias did not hit into many double plays.
It'll drive in a run though to score McCann. That'll tie the game. It was about as tailor-made as you can hit one right back up the middle, bringing the shortstop Anderson to the bag. No RBI for Iglesias. 2 gone.
Yeah, I wonder how they'll pitch to Nicholas Castellanos here. He's already gotten a couple of hits today, 2 for 2, a single and a double. He pretty much has been the Tigers' best hitter all year, although he had struggled until today. It may be a lot like James McCann, Mario, the fact that James has real good numbers against Ronaldo Lopez. Castellanos came in batting .342 against White Sox pitching this year. Overall in 9 games.
A lot of damage. 3 homers as well. One ball, 1 strike on Nick. Tigers fell behind 3-0. They've tied it up. Chance to go ahead with a 2-out knock. One and 2 on Castellanos.
Look at his fingers, Mario, on this changeup. He's got some of the longest fingers. Man, that thing comes off his fingertips nicely, too.
A lot of movement.
I wonder if that helps you by having those long fingers to really get that thing to dance in the strike zone.
Here's the 1-2. Up and in, 2-2. 97, so he's doing 97, 98 with a fastball.
Even though he's already thrown you that changeup, if you're Castellanos, there's no way you can look for it. Not with a guy having that much velocity on his fastball. You have to look for the fastball and adjust to anything else that he might throw you.
Line to left field, down, a base hit and more. A run will score. Nick is on his way to second, his third hit of the game, and the Tigers have their first lead of the night.
Beautiful at bat by Castellanos, who did get something off speed, but he wasn't sitting on it. He threw him that changeup 2-1, then he came back with that same changeup 2-2, but he left this one up in the strike zone, and Nicholas whistled that ball down the left field corner for his second double of the night.
Tigers lead 4-3. Here's Nico.
Nico's been getting a lot of fastballs inside today from Ronaldo Lopez.
Fly ball and a ground out for Goodrum. Oh, look out. Nico drilled by Lopez. 97-mile-an-hour heater.
Tried to get inside again on Nico. And the way that Nico is swinging the bat over the weekend, that's where you have to try to pitch him. And when Nico is able to extend his arms, he's dangerous. You can see where the glove, where they were trying to get inside, just nicked his belt, nicked his shirt, something.
So the Sox get on the bullpen phone now, and they'll get some activity going. It's a pained look on Don Cooper's face.
Yeah, he doesn't look happy, does he?
They gave Lopez a 3-0 lead. Now they trail, and Tigers trying to tack on some more. Ball one.
One thing Victor Martinez can still do, even at age 39. If he's looking for a fastball and a friendly fastball count, he can still turn on that pitch with the best of them in the big leagues.
Two and 0.
He called that a strike.
1-1.
You're right, though. It was a ball. Foxtrot says a ball too. Mr. Foxtrot, that is.
Show some respect, Brian.
I know. I don't know what I was thinking.
It was a 1-1. That's low. 2-1. There is the activity in their bullpen. It's Jedmar Gomez who's back in the big leagues.
Jedmar still around, huh?
He is.
He used to be a hard thrower. We saw him mostly with the White Sox, right?
With the Indians.
Yeah, that's what I'm Indians.
Yeah, came up with Cleveland. Went to the Phillies. 2-1 on V-Mart.
Busting Victor.
3-1. Lopez is disintegrating here in the fifth. And they're back on the phone. Is he ready? If not, tell him to hurry up.
Lopez came in the month of August pitching some of his best baseball of the year. But the Tigers have worked him hard today.
In the air to shallow center. That's going to be Engel, and that will end the inning. But a good inning for the Tigers. McCann had a base hit to get things going. Chamber had a big hit in the inning, and it was a double by Castellanos to get the lead. Chicago, game 1 in this series, and tell you what, Rob, the Tigers looking a little scrappy tonight. They were down 3-0 early. Bats coming alive.
I like it. And Ronaldo Lopez pitching some pretty good baseball in the month of August. His best baseball with that 97, 98 mile per hour fastball. But the Tigers have made him work, and they've been able to score some runs off of him. They haven't hit him hard, but they've done enough to score a bunch of runs today.
Would you have on Lewicki tonight? He had a lot of pitches early in the game.
Yeah, he was a little erratic early in the game. I don't know if it's lack of work or what by Artie Lewicki, but I think Artie, once he gets in a consistent form, once he starts to get consistent reps, I think he'll pitch some really good baseball for the Tigers and give him a chance to win when he goes out there. He's got good stuff.
So the bullpen will have to hold it now the rest of the way. The Tigers up by a run as we go to the 6th inning.
Tigers bullpen's in pretty good shape. I mean, they can let Drew go a couple. Then they've got Wilson. They've got Jimenez. They've got Shane Green. Everybody's good to go.
Narvaez leading things off. White Sox have had a lot of traffic on the bases. They have had a couple of base runners thrown out, so that has not helped their cause, but they've not been able to tack on their 3-0 lead early.
And Verhagen has a fastball that will top out at about 96 miles an hour. It's got a really good curveball, 12-6 curveball, and a slider, an occasional changeup.
Drew came on in the 5th, and with a couple of runners on, he got a pop-up from Garcia to end the inning on one pitch. Pulled to first, a foul ball. Narvaez, then Anderson, and then Moncada in the 6th for Chicago. Chicago coming off a 1-5 homestand. The Yankees swept them, and they lost 2 out of 3 to Cleveland. Up top, 3-2. And again, the Tigers have commanded the season series, winning 8 of 9 so far. Narvaez sprays it foul back out of play. He's got a fly ball and a walk in this game. And again, the 3-2. Launch to right field. Castellanos going back, still going back. He looks up, and Narvaez has just hit it out.
Wow.
A home run for Omar Narvaez, his 5th of the year, to tie the game.
He pulled his hands in nicely on that 94 mile per hour fastball. Looked like that ball was going to be by him. And somehow, some way, out of nowhere, here comes that bat to barrel that up for a solo shot. Take a look at the location of the last one. That one. It's off the plate. I mean, look at him pull his hands inside. That's a nice piece of hitting there.
Tim Anderson showing bunt. 21st RBI of the year for Narvaez, and just like that, we are tied at 4. Each team 7 hits. Ooh, that one almost caught the on-deck hitter. Oh, and 2 on Anderson. Pop up and a ground out for the shortstop. You know, you got 2 managers here that are managing very young teams. Earlier, about a month ago in July, Rick Renteria had to sit down Tim Anderson for a game after he did not run a ground ball out.
Right. Yeah, I saw that.
Sprayed foul.
Let's take one more look at this swing, Mario, off the bat of Narvaez. I mean, it looks like this fastball at 94. Look at the fastball. Now, right now, there, but it looks like that fastball is going to beat him, and then he just opens up his hips. And then all of a sudden, he gets that barrel in the right area, and he's able to drive that ball out of the ballpark. I mean, that's when a guy's really using his lower half.
Anderson came in slumping 4 for his previous 22. And now he's 0 for 2 in this one, but he does have thunder in that bat. 15 homers this year for Anderson. Swing and a miss. He chased up top. Verhagen goes up there for a strikeout.
It's a good pitch here by Verhagen after the breaking ball on the previous pitch that Anderson was out in front of. And you get him to chase that heater in the mid-90s.
One away for Moncada. Playing to pull. Drops down a bunt.
Eat it.
And Verhagen's going to have to hold it. He had no shot. That is a bunt single for a guy who's been scuffling all year, and Moncada will certainly take it. Well, now until midnight tonight, celebrate the number retirement of Tiger great Jack Morris by saving up to 47% off select lower level seats for 6 upcoming games in August, courtesy of Fox Sports Detroit. Just use the coupon code JACK47 at the checkout. That's coupon code JACK47 and save some dough on some Tiger tickets. Here is Engel. Doubled, scored a run in the third. That was the biggest inning for the Sox in this game. They scored 3 times. And now they've tied it up with a home run here by Narvaez. Fouled away 0-2 on Engel. Engel came into this game batting .224, but you do find, and we talked about this with Billy Hamilton in Cincinnati, a guy that doesn't hit all that well, but boy, that defense in center field just, I guess, makes you keep him in the lineup.
Yeah, it does, especially when you're rebuilding. But sooner or later, Engel's going to have to hit. And if he doesn't start to hit a little bit better, then he's going to find himself as a 4th or 5th outfielder and not a starting outfielder, even though he does have that great defense. But you have to hit to stay here. But if he can get the on-base percentage up a little higher to use his speed as a weapon, not necessarily the batting average, but if you can have a nice high on-base percentage to get on base, then his speed most definitely could come into play.
Swing and a miss. Down he goes. Second strikeout for Verhagen here in the 6th.
That is only the 5th strikeout tonight for Tigers pitching, but we told you in the last 7 games, the White Sox hitters have struck out at least 10 times in all 7 of those games. It's a nice breaking ball there thrown by Verhagen to finish off Engel.
There is only one team right now in the American League that has struck out more than the White Sox, and that would be Texas. The Sox behind him in that category, but they do whiff a lot. Now Delmonico. Oh, he threw it away. Moncada will go to second, take a turn, and hold up.
That's going to be E3, I think.
Well, they gave Verhagen the air, but you could have made a case for E3. Ducey went down to try and backhand it, but the air will go to Verhagen. Now the go-ahead run in scoring position for Delmonico. Swing and a miss.
Yeah, might as well throw him another curveball. Especially with the runner in scoring position.
Delmonico missed 2 months with a fractured hand earlier this year. Swing and a miss. They've now changed it to an E3. So take the air away from Verhagen and give it to the first baseman, Ducey.
That's what we thought it was anyway.
Delmonico has struck out a lot recently, 15 in his last 12 games. Part of that stretch where the White Sox have struck out a ton as a team. Now the 1-2. Swing and a miss. Delmonico is out of there as he fans. Hitting over, but they tie it up on the Narvaez home run. We'll go to the bottom of the 6th, 4-4.
The RBI double that was in the 4th inning. He was able to drive home Castellanos, who had doubled earlier in the inning. And then Castellanos, last half inning in the 5th, he doubles to give the Tigers the 4-3 lead. But the lead didn't last long. Omar Narvaez with a solo shot on a 94-mile-per-hour fastball inside against Drew Hagen to tie the score. And that's where we sit right now, 4-4.
So to the bullpen go the White Sox. That'll be it for Reynaldo Lopez. He will finish with 91 pitches. It is a wall-side windows pitching change, and Genmar Gomez comes in. Former Cleveland Indian, Pittsburgh Pirate, and Philadelphia Philly.
He was closing games for the Phillies, wasn't he?
Yeah, he had 37 saves a couple of years ago, 2016. Ducey leads it off, and Jim shoots one to left center field. It'll drop in there, base hit, nicely done. Tigers once again get the leadoff man on. That is 1, 2, 3, 4 straight innings.
Since Adduci has come to the big leagues, man, he has gotten a lot of hits just like this. He has got that swing down on the little base hit to left field in front of the left fielder. Gomez has an average fastball these days, about 92, but he can get up to 96 still. He loves the slider. He throws that 26% of the time. Does not have a curveball, but he has a changeup. So he's got 3 pitches: fastball, slider, change.
More action. Lewis Coleman, the right-hander, heating up. Gomez was a starter early in his career when he came up with the Indians at the age of 22 back in 2010. Keeping a close eye there on Adduci. It'll break in for a strike. Mott took a ground out and a strikeout. Each ball club now with 8 hits in this game. Oh, 2. Lucky this year with 11 homers down at AAA Toledo. He knocked in a total of 35, up and down a couple of times with the Tigers this year. And really his struggles began in spring camp when he just really couldn't get it going. Still made the team. Got him, strike 3, and Matuk didn't like it.
Time for the DT Energy Know Your Own Power. Back in the 3rd inning, James McCann, he helped manufacture a run. He got a base hit, then he got to second base on a wild pitch and trickled that far away from the catcher, but a good jump by McCann. And then Victor Reyes with 2 strikes still got him over. And then Jamer Candelario with the sacrifice fly. And those are what the Tigers practice every single day in batting practice. Runner on second, get him over. Runner on third, less than 2 outs, get something you can hit deep enough to the outfield. They practice it every single day, and they worked it to perfection in the 3rd.
Here is James McCann.
He's one guy that's not happy to see Lopez go.
No. He had 2 more hits against Lopez.
He's 7 for 11 against Lopez. And next time we see the White Sox, McCann and Lopez is pitching. McCann's probably going to send an Uber over there to get him to make sure he gets to the ballpark on time.
And he might be a first-round pick and Ram picked the stick, too.
And as a matter of fact, he might be driving the Uber himself to make sure.
You see McCann, a little chauffeur's hat on, pulling up in an Uber.
Hey, where's Ronaldo?
Make sure you get there safely. One on, one out. McCann has also thrown 2 runners out trying to steal tonight.
He's had a nice day. 2 hits, runs scored, thrown out a couple of base stealers, would-be base stealers. The White Sox must be thinking that the Tigers want to put on a hit and run right here because Adduci doesn't steal bases, but yet Jenmar Gomez continues to throw over to first base. He's not throwing over there on his own. He's getting that sign from the dugout to throw over to first base.
Gomez did not move to the bullpen until he went to the Pirates in 2014. He's pretty much been exclusively out of the pen since then. And there's a strike. 1-1, 93-mile-an-hour fastball from Genmar.
There's the manager, Rick Renteria. He handles the running game. He's given the signs to Narvaez as to what they want the pitcher to do: throw over, pitch out, all those good things. And then again, those signs that he just gave could mean nothing. It could be his hand resting on the rail, could be the sign that they've already talked about.
Pulled foul just outside of the third base bag. Almost the third hit of the night for McCann.
See his hand up there? That could very well be the sign. Or it could be McEwing standing right next to him with his hand up there. That could be the sign. These guys are tricky in those dugouts, man. They really are. But you have to be.
You have to be, don't you?
You have to be. There's cameras everywhere. I mean, there are cameras everywhere. So you just have to be creative as to, you know, how you give your signs.
Here's the 1-2. High, ball 2. Victor Reyes waiting on deck. McCann singled and scored in the third, singled and scored in the fifth.
And Genmar is doing a really nice job of making sure, should McCann hit something on the ground, he's going to be able to get his double play to get out of this inning. Even though Adduci is not a base stealer, he is making sure that Adduci does not get too far off that base.
Gomez has never really been a big strikeout guy, about 5.5 per 9 for his career. In on his hands, and he fouled it off. And for a guy that's been a closer in his career, although very briefly, typically the strikeouts per 9 are a little higher.
Right.
Lopez started. They gave him a 3-0 lead. Tigers came back to take a 4-3 lead and knocked him out of the game.
Modest lead for Jim.
Swing and a miss. McCann down on strikes. 2 outs here in the 6th. Here is a Ram pick the stick update tonight.
A lot of people on the board today.
Ooh, look at Shep.
Yep, Shep did a nice job picking Nick Castellanos. You and I have 3.
Give me the only one in the negative with Mr. Iglesias. That's a courtesy of a double play ball he hit into. Or he hit. Here's Reyes now with 2 outs. Gomez continues just to make Adduci dive back into the bag. He has watched him closely ever since a single to begin the inning. In there, strike 1 on Reyes. How do you think Reyes has progressed this year? We know he hadn't gotten a whole lot of his bats, or didn't earlier in the season, more so in the second half.
You know what, Mario? I think he's doing just fine. I mean, it's not easy to sit, you know, for 3 and 4 and 5 days in a row. Being a young player like Reyes is, a guy that's accustomed to playing every single day in the minor leagues throughout his career. It's tough to come up here and do what he has done, but he's handled himself in a very nice way. I mean, he does not seem overmatched in the batter's box. When he pinch runs for Victor, we haven't seen him get picked off. He seems to know what to do in the outfield with the throwing arm and running down balls out there too. I think this was a nice decision to keep him in the big leagues all year.
Yeah, there are a lot of folks saying, well, it's basically a lost year developmental wise, but there's a lot to learn at this level that you couldn't have gotten down there.
No. and he'll be your property for the foreseeable future. And even if he comes to spring training next year and they think he might need a little bit more seasoning, they can send him down to the minor leagues. They can option him at that time if they want him to play in the minor leagues. They just can't do it right now. I mean, we talked about the fact that the last time that he was up, that he walked for only the 3rd time in over 130 at-bats. He'll get better there too. It just takes time.
Only 23 years old. Slice toward left field, and it is a foul ball. Barely foul. Victor almost shot one down the left field line. Tigers got a leadoff single from Aducey, but then strikeouts of Matuk and McCann. Reyes is still looking for that first major league homer. Now the 0-2. 1-2 on Victor. Should he reach? He got the top of the order. Candelario waiting on deck. The 1-2. Little chopper to the right side of the infield. Moncada will handle it, and that is that for the Tigers. Well, a memorable Sunday yesterday for the newest Tiger to have his number retired, Jack Morris. We'll look back at Sunday's ceremony next.
Detroit was like growing up in Minnesota, but it didn't take me long to figure it out. It was right in my wheelhouse. The hardworking people, the salt of the earth, and the great loyal sports fans that are in this town. It's something truly special for all of us athletes that play here in Detroit.
Part of Jack Morris's speech yesterday here at Comerica Park, and he had his number 47 retired here at the ballpark yesterday. And really a great ceremony. And you start to think back about some of those 84 memories. You know, Lance got up there and spoke, and Dan Petrie got up there and spoke.
No doubt.
Really cool.
They had great teammates. Had a lot of nice things to say about Jack Morris.
Here is Yolmer Sanchez as we go to the 7th, all tied at 4 runs apiece. Swing and a miss, 0-1. The Tigers have gone back to the bullpen. Wallside windows pitching change with Lewis Coleman.
33 games for Lewis Coleman. This is number 34.
Right to Nico, a tough short hop. Sanchez out, 1 away.
That's good to get Yomer out. It's exactly the way that you want to face Jose Abreu with nobody on base. Although he is in scoring position as we speak. You surprised they haven't moved him yet, Mario, though, to be honest with you,
yes,
or no?
Yes and no. I can't make up my mind on that because I think that he could really bring you a nice package back, and you are in, or they are in, full rebuild mode. So that part of me says yes, but I don't know. There's also some part of me that says this guy's been so valuable to them, and you do need some veteran guys in the lineup.
I mean, it might be a situation like the Atlanta Braves a few years ago when they sold off everybody with the exception of Freddie Freeman. And Freddie Freeman's still there.
Yeah.
I mean, he's right in the middle of everything good that they're doing right now in Atlanta. Maybe it's the White Sox that have identified Abreu as that guy that's that popular within the clubhouse, and especially with a lot of the Latin players that they have that look up to him, that his leadership skills are much more valuable to them than getting back a couple of prospects for him.
Coleman's got him 0-2. Line drive off the glove of Goodrum into center field. That'll be a base hit for Abreu.
Nico timed his jump. He got up a little bit too quick, too early. I mean, it looked like he jumped a little bit before that ball got there, and then he was like on the way down when the ball got to him.
Now Daniel Polka.
Just got to keep Polka in the yard.
I was thinking the Minnesota Twins probably wish that they made a couple of moves in the offseason they could have back. Polka was their property, and
was he?
Was put on the waiver wire and snatched up by the White Sox, as was Nico Goodrum.
Yep.
Who was signed as a free agent by the Tigers. So those are two guys they probably wouldn't mind still having in the system.
Well, I know for a fact with the 18 home runs that Daniel has hit and the way that Nico Goodrum has torched his former team, you're probably 100% correct. Had a nice conversation with Nico today while he was mic'd down there talking to him about why you treat the Minnesota Twins so bad. He says it's not personal. You get that little southern drawl in his voice. He says nothing personal. Just trying to handle my business, he said.
He's done all of that. Now the 2-0. Polka had a huge rip, fouled it back 2-1.
Polka's got a quick bat too.
So a couple of guys that were in the Minnesota system that were discarded, both batting cleanup tonight for their respective teams. Pulled on the ground and through, base hit. Abreu rounds the bag. He's going to go to third. Castellanos' throw to the bag, not in time. First and third now for the White Sox.
And Ducey had to hold on the runner at first base. That would be Abreu, and that breaking ball stayed up in the inner third to home plate for Polka. And he ripped it right past a diving Aducci, and Abreu did not break stride. He knew he could get to third base, and he was aggressive in doing so.
Well, if he had hesitated, he'd have been out.
Right. Did not hesitate one moment, and he did not look to his third base coach, Nick Capra, to get any help either. He decided as soon as that ball was hit that he can get to third.
You think he runs to third base last year? Because he's a lot slimmer this year.
He does look slimmer. He looks like he's in really good shape this year.
Here's Garcia now with men at the corners. Little pop up in a shallow center field. Reyes coming in. He'll make the catch. Abreu will test him but not come home. Big out there, 2 gone.
It's a wise decision by Abreu. And we're starting to see that more and more with the Tigers when they're on the defensive end and there's a run scoring situation. We see that third base coach hold up those base runners quite often. And because when Martin was here, he had a great arm. Jacoby, of course, has a really good arm in the outfield. Nicholas has thrown out his fair share, and Victor's got a strong arm. I think what caused Nick Capra to stop Abreu there, Mario, is that really good throw that Victor Reyes made earlier in the game where he almost threw a runner out at home plate.
Yes. Meanwhile, Garcia, in his last 2 at-bats with men in scoring position, has made an out on 1 pitch. Here's Narvaez.
You said this guy's had a really nice year for them.
Yeah, Narvaez came in at 357 in the last month and a half. His on-base percentage at 366 career.
Which means if you're Coleman, you have to be very careful here to Narvaez. I know you don't really have first base open, but you do have a base open, and you have a right-handed batter in the on-deck circle who will swing and miss.
Alcantara warming up in the Tigers pen. One ball, 1 strike. You've got a guy that has a career on base as good as Narvaez. I mean, I guess you got to be comfortable hitting with 2 strikes.
Absolutely. It's a lot like Joe Mauer. Takes the first pitch every single time, no matter whether it's a strike or not. Very comfortable hitting behind in the count.
He's showing that patience again in this at bat. 2-1. Narvaez homered in the 6th to give them the lead.
You can see that Narvaez chokes up on the bat ever so slightly.
Now 2-2. Tied at 4 runs apiece. The White Sox led 3-0, fell behind 4-3, and then Narvaez tied it up. Fouled away. Some action at the top of the White Sox box score.
Anderson and Garcia, and the only 2 White Sox hitters with not a hit today. They're 0 for 5 combined.
Ground ball foul.
And Darrell Boston picked it. Debo.
Debo.
Yeah, that's his nickname, Darrell Boston. He was a good center fielder himself, former #1 draft choice of the White Sox back in the day.
Nice.
And Darrell played in my era.
Right back up the middle. Iglesias is there, though, and he will throw him out to end the threat. Nothing comes of 2 singles, and coming up now, the Consumers Energy 7th inning stretch. to you by Comerica Bank. Raise your expectations of what a bank can be. Come to Comerica. Your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Visit ChevyDetroit.com. See why Chevy drives the Motor City. And by Wallside Windows, we can do that. We are the factory. This bark in the park, man. Is that a piece of popcorn?
Piece of popcorn,
oh,
right?
That's mean.
It was.
I think you end up getting it, though. Well, the Tigers and the White Sox 4-4. We go to the bottom of the 7th and the top of the Tigers lineup. Candelario leads off. Then Iglesias, then Castellanos. RBI for Jamer with a sacrifice fly in the 3rd. He also singled in the 5th. Ball 1. Jenmar Gomez came out in the 6th, gave up a single but no damage. We've got action. Alex Wilson warming up. He'll be next. Two and one on Jamer. Tigers trying to make something happen here in the 7th. They've been out hit 10-8. High, ball 3. That one looked like it was in the zone. And Gomez did not get the benefit of the call there. And he lost it, ball 4. Gomez a leadoff walk here in the 7th. Another good at bat there by Candelario.
Very patient at bat by Candy.
Here's Iglesias.
And Yomer Sanchez at 3rd base, not anticipating a bunt from Iglesias. He's even with the bag at 3rd. However, Iglesias will bunt for a base hit every now and then. And that's why the quick throw over by Jenmer Gomez. He wanted to see whether Iglesias would tip and whether he's up there bunting or not.
Right side of the infield is open for Iglesias. He'll curve in for a strike, 0-1. Iggy knocked into a double play in his last at bat. It came with the bases loaded, and the Tigers got a run out of it. Up and in, that'll spin him out of the box. The crowd oohing and eyeing. Now the crowd directing their wrath at Gomez for throwing back. Candy not much of a base stealer. He's only swiped 2 this year. He's been caught 2 times. Here's the 1-1. Chopped foul. One and 2 on Mr. Iglesias. It'll pop up shortstop side, caught there by Anderson, and that's the first out of the inning.
Take a look at our Bell Tire pitch by pitch. Nicholas Castellanos had the day off yesterday, and man, did it pay huge dividends for him. He's come back today with a single and a couple of doubles, both of those off for Ronaldo Lopez. That time he went down and got a breaking ball at the bottom of the strike zone for his first double. And then he came back up his next time up and he got a ball that was out over the plate, and he hit another ball down in the left field corner. So a couple of really nice at-bats today by Castellanos. 2 doubles on 2 off-speed pitches, 1 on a breaking ball, 1 on a changeup.
Here is Castellanos. And we'll see if Nicholas has his sights set on a 4-hit game. He's got 2 doubles and a single. 3 of the Tigers' 8 knocks in this game. Nick appears to be back after a rough stretch. We talk about his offense, but Nick also has 8 assists this year from the outfield.
Yeah, we were talking about that a couple of innings ago. A lot of the Tigers have assists, a lot of respect coming their way. Nicholas does have 1 4-hit game this year.
'37 multi-hit games, and tonight makes 38. Gomez has slowed down the pace considerably here in the 7th after the leadoff walk to Jamer. Busted inside, now 2-1.
And Castellanos is an outstanding breaking ball hitter, and one of your better breaking ball hitters in the majors this year.
Whoa. 390 versus Chicago pitching.
Yeah, it came in 342.
10 games, 10 RBIs, 10 runs scored. Pretty good. Driven deep to left field, to the track, to the wall. It is gone.
What a day for Nicholas.
Castellanos with a 2-run shot and a 4-hit game. Going to be in for Gomez. Castellanos knocks him out of this game. Boy, is he back in a big way.
Second 4-hit game of the season for Nicholas Castellanos. And that day off did him a lot of good yesterday.
Back to the bullpen go the White Sox. For Nick Castellanos, a 2-run shot to break a 4-4 tie.
And Nick worked himself into a really nice favorable count, 2-1 against Jimmer Jomez, and he got himself what looked like a fastball at 91 at the top of the strike zone, and Nicholas wasn't having any of that. As soon as it touched his bat, he knew it was gone. You could tell by the way he dropped his bat and tucked that left shoulder. Gardner is probably saying to himself, if I'd have known that he would react like this after a day off, I'd have gave him a day off a long time ago.
Well, it certainly worked this time, and now the Tigers lead by 2 as Nico Goodrum steps in. The White Sox have a lefty coming out of the bullpen. Luis Avilan will check in now for Chicago. Ball 1. Numbers on Avilan and the wall side windows change.
He doesn't walk very many people. He's only walked 12. 41 strikeouts. The White Sox did not get much length out of their starter yesterday. Covey, he only pitched 3 innings, so they needed 6 innings of work out of their bullpen, and they need quite a bit of innings again here today out of their bullpen.
Righty's bat .310 against the left-hander Avilan. He's been much better, as you might expect, against left-handed batters, but Nico switching around here. Nothing but a big smile on Nicholas' face.
Yeah, huge smile today.
Here's the 1-2. We got him to go fishing. So Nico is out of there, 2 gone. Strikeout for Avilan. Or Avilan. That's where the accent is.
Avilan.
Avilan. Glad seeing the accents now in the backs of players' names. It allows you to figure out where to put that emphasis.
Yeah, it gives us an idea.
Here's Victor Martinez. There it is, Avilan. Ball 1 to Vmart, who also turns around, bats right-handed. RBI double tonight for Victor. Tigers have been out hit 10-9, but they lead 6-4. Game 1 of what will be a 3-game series between these 2 teams, and the Tigers go on the road to Minnesota for it starting on Thursday.
Who had Nicholas today and picked a stick? Ram picked a stick. Mr. Shepard?
I think Mr. Shep picked him. And he is in the host position tonight, which means that lead is going to get a little bit bigger.
They lengthened that lead yesterday as well.
Let me guess, Shep wants to jump in.
No, he ain't. He don't want to talk.
I feel so good right now. I can't even begin to tell you. I could be going on 2 hours sleep. It doesn't really matter to me.
That is 21.
Now, Simo's got something to say. Listen, who called that home run, man?
I'm going to have to be honest with you. I'm sitting here and Shep goes, he's going to hit a homer. Next pitch, boom, big fly. Nicholas Cassidy.
Wow, how about that?
And then I tweeted, I win, pick the stick.
That's 14 points for you today.
Is it?
Yeah, I think so.
I'm not counting.
Yeah, you are.
Oh, yeah, I'm not counting.
You guys know me too well. I'm not kidding you. I just totaled them all up.
Well, good for you.
And more importantly, good for the Tigers as they break the 4-4 tie here in the 7th. Meanwhile, 2-2 on Vmart. That's your guy, right, Ron?
Yeah, I had Victor today.
High fly ball, shallow left. Polka to end the inning. But the Tigers get 2. Nicholas goes boom, a 2-run shot Tigers baseball tonight, presented by Bell Tire. His home run has given the Tigers a 2-run lead now, 6-4. So thank you very much, Mr. Nick. And again, Ron, the Tigers coming back in this ball game. They were down 3-0 early in this game, showing some fight, and they went through a stretch where really they struggled to score runs, but now they're starting to feel energizing again.
Well, the at-bats, I mean, they've been quality at-bats, really, and it started in the Minnesota series. The last 3 days, they've had some consistent at-bats today against Ronaldo Lopez. Not a lot of strikeouts. It looks like with 2 strikes, guys making a conscious effort to put the ball in play today.
Tigers going to go back to the bullpen here as we go to the 8th. Castellanos a 4-hit game, and here is Alex Wilson in a wall-side windows pitching change.
And Willie's got that ERA all the way down to 3.72. He's been pitching some outstanding baseball lately. And 30 strikeouts, 12 walks for Willie. Batting average not very high against him.
That ball belted to center field and deep. Reyes back to the wall to make the catch.
He had to run that bad boy down all the way on the warning track.
Tim Anderson showing off that pop he's got in his bat.
Yeah, he's a little dude too. You might have to get back in that weight room though, Mr. Anderson. You start messing with 420.
420 usually wins, unless you're Abreu.
And nice job by Reyes running that ball down. He's got all kind of real estate to roam around out there.
Here is Yoan Moncada. On base twice in this game, walk and a bunt single for Moncada.
You talk to the Chicago White Sox people and they will tell you that Moncada is going to be a perennial all-star and he will win Gold Gloves at the second base position. Still very young, 167 strikeouts coming into play today. On pace for well over 200, but he is the #1 prospect in baseball at the start of this season in the minors.
Moncada was originally, or I should say just a few days ago, recently dropped down to 8th in the lineup, and he thinks he can help him a little bit because now it gives him a chance to see how the opposing starting pitcher is working as opposed to leading off in ball games.
Yeah, makes sense. Take the pressure off of him as well.
Now Wilson's 1-2. Got him, strike 3. Moncada fans for the second time. Well, Nico Goodrum was mic'd up during batting practice earlier today. Some more sounds of the game from Nico.
Like, 'cause I'm so worried about keeping that foot on the base to the replays that I'm just always like, even if it comes from Candy, if it comes from Candy, I'm still like this. And I'm kind of like throwing like this. I just like staying like this. I like staying like this and then throwing so I know my foot there. And then when Iggy comes with a toss like this, then that's when I like going across. But
he said something interesting there, and how he, the fact that the new rules around second base now affecting the way he plays that position.
Yeah, games change now. And he says that no longer is that phantom double play where you can just kind of gloss over the bag when you're turning a double play. You have to physically have one foot on the bag when the ball gets in your glove. And if you don't, with all the cameras and all the replays, you're not going to get that out at second base. Another play as well, Mario, not with the feet, but with the glove. When you're a middle infielder now, you have to always keep that glove on the base runner because they come off the bag so often.
Boy, look at Engel here going deep over the bullpen into the seats.
He's been going off the last 2 days. That's his second homer in the last 2 days.
A 2-out, 2-run shot from the number 9 hitter, and Engel says, I can do more than just catch the ball in center field. He hit that thing beyond the bullpen.
Well, the home run that he hit foul a couple of innings ago, I mean, it almost reached that second tier back there. Looked like a breaking ball. It was a little breaking ball. 86, maybe a cutter, maybe a slider, but looks like a cutter. East to west movement, and he got all of it.
1-run game now, 6-5. Ball 1-2, Delmonico. Engel has just hit his 4th of the year, the 2nd home run of the night for the White Sox. Narvaez has the other. A couple of deep balls in this inning. Anderson hit one to 420 to center field, and it was nothing but a long out, but that one carried out. Delmonico on base twice, hit by pitch and a single.
Yeah, Engel homered yesterday in Cleveland, real late in that game. Comes out here today and gets himself a couple of hits. He scored a couple of runs.
Every time I see a guy hit a curveball out, I think about Torrey Hunter.
Yeah.
And what he says about breaking balls.
His blessing.
Kirby Puckett taught him, don't miss your curveballs, they're a blessing.
The curveballs do go a long way. I don't know what it is about sliders and curveballs, man, but when you catch them just right, man, that backspin, a lot of times they go further than pitches that are thrown 95 miles an hour.
Delmonico waiting on a 2-2. Chop to the right side. Nico coming in. Delmonico is out. That'll end the inning. They get a run on the homer by Engel, and we go to the bottom of the 8th. Now a 1-run game. 8-5. The Tigers hold on to a 1-run lead as we go to the bottom of the 8th. Jim Ducey will lead things off. And the Deuce looks at a strike. It'll be a Ducey, Matuk, McCann.
It'd be nice to see the Tigers score another run like they did in the bottom half of the 8th inning last night to give Shane Green a little bit more margin for error. Nico Goodrum got that base on balls in the bottom half of the 8th inning, and then he came around to score on the Ronnie Rodriguez double down the left field line. There's the Tigers closer, Shane Green.
Avilan came on in the 7th and got a strikeout of Nico on a fly ball from Martinez. And when you look at Shane coming up in the 9th, he's going to be against Sanchez, Abreu, and Palka.
Yeah, gonna have to earn it today. Looking for his 25th save of the season.
Hit well, right field on the run, Garcia. Avisail Garcia takes a double away from the Deuce.
It's a good play by Garcia in right field. He had a long way to run to make that play, and he did a nice job by getting there.
Ooh, snow coned it.
Took a great route to get there as well.
One gone. Mikey Matuk coming up. Not before we get a little meeting on the mound.
Were they buying a little time to get somebody hot or something?
I think they had Manaea warming up. Now it's going to be Renteria coming out, so they'll bring in a new pitcher here. Now they've made the call to the bullpen. That'll be it for the left-hander Avilan, and he has retired all 3 that he has faced. So Manaea coming in will step aside. One in the series. The upcoming matchup presented by Wallside Windows for Game 2 features Blaine Hardy and Lucas Giolito.
And another rookie, Lucas Giolito. He's had a rough year, 6.23 ERA. Blaine Hardy, however, has pitched very well as a starter. 4-4 with a 3.63 ERA. 54 strikeouts, 19 walks, 246 is the opponent's average against Blaine.
Here's tomorrow night's starter, Mr. Hardy, who's done good work in a starting role this year. Juan Manaea has come out of the bullpen now for Chicago. Manaea with a 2.13 earned run average over his last 18 games. And he will face Mikey Matuk here in the 8th. 1 out, nobody on. Ball 1-2, Matuk. Oh for 3 with a couple of strikeouts.
And Mikey just called back up today from Toledo when they decided to put Jacoby on the 10-day disabled list. There's JJ.
Two and one on Matuk. I was reading where Mikey actually kept his home here in Detroit that he was renting and made the commute down to Toledo when he played for the Mud Hens.
Is that right?
Yeah, he just kept his home here. Swing and a miss. And the one thing he said was that, you know, the long drive really didn't bother him because it gave him a chance to unwind after ball games.
A little time to think. He probably felt like he was going to be back up here anyway.
Yep. And here he is. 2-2 on Matuk.
Several guys have done that over the years. I guess it must not be a bad drive.
No, down in Toledo, not bad at all.
About 2 hours?
No, I think even less than that.
Yeah. You looking at Chuck Fair for some help?
Chuck Fair knows the answers to everything. Chuck, give me the distance between Detroit and Toledo. Chuck Fair is our stage manager.
You turned around and looked at Chuck. Chuck can give you nothing.
Chucky's like, yeah, whatever. A little over an hour.
If Green handles his business like he's supposed to in the bottom half of the ninth, man, about top of the ninth, we might be able to sneak over and see Beyonce. You got your credentials?
Nope, I didn't. That's going to be a whale of a show across the street. Driven to right field and deep. Is it deep enough? It is not.
Just like we promised, it's time for the Miller Lite Hold True moment. And if you're just joining us, Nicholas Castellanos has had some kind of day. He singled and a couple of doubles and a big fly in his last time up on a fastball and a 2-1 count against Genmar Gomez. His second 4-hit game of the year.
Two gone now for McCann. Now you've got to have some connections for Beyonce, don't you?
No, I didn't really look into it, but I'm sure if we want to slide over there, we might be able to slip through there. I'm just telling him I'm with Mario and Pimp.
Yeah, that'll get you right in.
I'm with Mario.
Who?
We don't need a seat. We just want to be in the atmosphere.
That is true. All right, I'm told now officially it is 50 miles from Detroit to Toledo.
50 miles. So that's not 2 hours. That's a little over an hour.
Yep.
Under an hour with you driving, though.
Easy. 1 hour and 8 minutes, according to the maps. Here's the 2-0 pitch. And fouled back by James. Vilanque on to face 3 batters now. Manaya here in the 8th out of their bullpen. They've also had Genmar Gomez. Reynaldo Lopez did not pitch all that well tonight for the Sox. He lasted 5 innings. Two and 2 on McCann, looking for a 3-hit game. 2 singles, 2 runs scored. Grade 2. That was close.
Yeah, Manaya thought he had strike 3. He had a long look in for the home plate umpire, Chris Guccione.
Little looper to right. 3-hit game, McCann. It's going to split the gap and go to the wall. Mack is headed to second and pull in with a double. He hit the ground, picked up some steam. It's a 2-out, 2-bagger. Be nice to get him in, give the Tigers an insurance run.
McCann has had a great day today. A couple of singles and a double. He's also thrown out a couple of base runners trying to steal bases earlier in the contest. And hopefully these swings today that McCann has taken will get him going the remainder 6 weeks of the season.
He entertained thoughts about going for a triple, but
he sure did.
Made the wise choice. Now Reyes trying to drive him in with 2 outs. Walk-in run scored in the 5th inning. It turned out to be a big inning for the Tigers. They scored a couple of runs and took their first lead of the night. Line to right field, base hit. Here comes McCann rounding third. Garcia's got a gun, is cut off.
Ooh, why'd he cut that?
They had a play at the plate, I think. Reyes is out at second, or is he in there? No,
they called him safe.
He's in there.
Why did Abreu cut that?
Garcia's got a gun out there.
He's got a 60 arm. He's got a well above average arm, and I'm trying to figure out why Abreu cut it. Was it offline? We'll get a look at Abreu. He's the cutoff man. Yeah, it looked like the throw was offline. Oh, the swim move.
Ah, the old swim move. The crafty Victor Reyes.
Oh, those swim moves.
That wily veteran. What a great slide by Reyes. Single RBI, second on the throw. McCann scores a run. That is a huge knock for Victor.
It's a gamble there by Dave Clark, but it paid off. I mean, you're trying to score that one more run. You've already got a 1-run lead. You'll gamble there with McCann running in 2 outs. And it paid dividends.
Get another one. Here is Candelario.
Could you tell whether that throw was offline or not?
I couldn't. I was just stunned he cut it off.
Yeah.
Because the Garcia arm is terrific.
I mean, it was a one-hopper.
One 1-0 on Jamer. 7-5. Tigers lead by 2.
Here's one more look at the throw. We're going to see what we can tell from this vantage point that we have right here, where the throw is going. Yeah, you could tell by the direction of that ball when he reaches up for it. It's not going to be on target. Therefore, that's why Abreu cut it. It wasn't because of the lack of the velocity coming from Abreu in right field. Garcia, excuse me.
Meanwhile, Jamer doing Jamer things here as he goes to 3-0.
I green light Jamer right here. Nope, they're going to put him on base. Going to give him a free pass. He's had a nice day, too. We have had several nice days out of the Tigers players tonight.
They will take their chances now with Iglesias. Manage your dream team in franchise mode, plus get weekly stats, roster updates, and more. RBI Baseball 18 is available now. Learn more at RBIGame.com. Rated E for everyone. I just still can't get over that slide by Reyes. I mean, that was a great slide.
Tremendous slide. Tremendous slide. And the thing about that slide, a couple of years ago, you pretty much would have been out on that slide.
Yep, no doubt.
You'd have been out.
Makata sneaking in behind Reyes to try and catch him napping. No dice.
That's a big hit by the rookie, Victor Reyes. Same thing the Tigers did yesterday, scoring that run in the bottom half of the 8th inning.
Reyes extending his hitting streak to a season high 4 with that single.
And so far, Iglesias 0 for 4 tonight. You don't say that very often about Jose, especially since he got rolling about the second month of the season.
Jose in the number 8 spot was hitting .272. But when he's batting second, at least coming into tonight, he was hitting .200. We're talking about where he has felt more comfortable, but with the injuries the Tigers have had, with the way the lineup has been shaken out, Gardy's got him 2. Here's the 1-1.
And good swing there by Iglesias at the 95-mile-per-hour fastball. And thrown by Manaya.
Here's the 1-2. Wooden off for 2-2. Tigers 7 runs, 11 hits, and the Sox 5 runs, 11 hits. Once again, Green will get 2, 3, and 4 in the lineup.
He's ready.
Iggy's still battling. Manaya now has thrown 23 pitches. Rolled the third foul. A 2-out double by McCann, and then a single by Reyes scored him to make it a 2-run game. Now the whole infield's going to gather on the mound. Oh, look out. Iglesias hit the dirt quickly. That ball came at his helmet.
Yeah, it's a 95-mile-per-hour fastball that Iglesias just got out of the way of.
Oh, man. That shot right there gave you a great indication of how little time you have to just turn that head and get out of the way. 3-2. He walked him. That's going to load the bases.
Oh, for Nicholas Castellanos?
Uh-oh. Well, he could turn a monster night into something even bigger.
Yeah, he can. And Rick Renteria, all he could do is watch. He got nowhere to put Nicholas.
Castellanos has never had a 5-hit game. He's got a shot right here in the 8th.
He needs a triple.
That would give him the cycle.
Yep. Might as well do that.
Ball one. Meanwhile, a great at bat by Iglesias.
Yeah, he fell behind early against Minaya, and he was able to foul off pitch after pitch after pitch until he was able to coax that walk. If he throws Nick a fastball, Nick is not going to get cheated.
Two and oh.
All of a sudden, you have a 4-hit game, and the posture of Nicholas Castellanos just changes drastically in the batter's box. Look at Don Cooper, boy. He's like, I done wasted all my minutes up on this phone.
He is not happy. Back up the middle, into center field. Another hit for Nick. Had 2 more runs scored. A 5-hit night for Castellanos. And he is driven in 5.
Well, you had a feeling that he would snap out of the little funk that he had been in basically since the All-Star break, where his batting average was under 200. He comes out with 5 huge knocks tonight, a homer, a couple of doubles, a couple of singles, and 5 RBIs. And now his average against White Sox pitching is over 500, over 400 this year.
What a night for Nick. That is 12 Tigers hits as Nico fouls one back. First 5-hit game of his career, and that means Green sits down. Alcantara warming up now. Single, double, double, homer, single.
And the second time Alcantara has been up in the bullpen. He was up earlier. And last 2 home runs that Goodrum hit in the Minnesota series, one was a changeup, one was a breaking ball. And the swings looked identical on both pitches. They've been crowding him in a lot today, though, with fastballs.
That's going to get away and advance the runners. It's been a very, very destructive inning from Minaya and the White Sox. One and two on Nico. Wild pitch. It's back on the phone, Rod.
Yeah. And with that, Victor Reyes, you got to give him some credit for Nicholas Castellanos even coming to the plate, because had he not had that great slide, that would have been the 3rd out. Nicholas would have never had a chance to bat.
2 and 2 on Goodrum. Hit by a pitch tonight, the only time he has reached.
He carried him over the weekend. And Nicholas is carrying them tonight. They pitched Goodrum right there all night tonight.
And now he's up to 34 pitches. Danish warming up in their bullpen.
I told you that Rick Renteria, the manager of the White Sox, had to get 6 innings out of his bullpen yesterday in Cleveland.
Swing and a miss, and Nico is out there to finally end the inning. Beginning though, great slide from Victor Reyes. Little swim move at second base kept the inning going. And Nick has had a knack to drive in runs tonight. 5 RBIs. It's 9-5 Tigers.
Castellanos. But Craig, it really helps to have other guys supporting the cause tonight. A lot of guys had good approaches at home plate, didn't they?
Yes, they did, Shep, and I was hanging around the batting cage all day during batting practice, guys, and one of the keys to their success tonight was they wanted to be patient against Lopez. They were very patient, made him work, and they got after him, and that approach continued up and down the lineup.
Guys, it wasn't just Castellanos, it's Reyes, it's Candelario, it's McCann. It's a lot of good stuff from Mickey York to go inside that clubhouse and find out. And of course, Craig Monroe will be breaking it down with Rod Allen about what Nick Castellanos has done to turn things around in his first career 5-hit night. Now to the ninth for Mario and Rod, fellas.
Yeah, guys, it has been everybody tonight chipping in, and you totaled it all up 9-5. The Tigers lead as Alcantara comes in now for Detroit. And he will face Sanchez Abreu Palka here in the ninth inning. First one from Alcantara is outside.
Alcantara's got a nice arm. I mean, he'll get up to 95 with his fastball. He's got a little deception in his delivery, a little herky-jerkiness, which causes him to sneak that fastball by some hitters at 93. Doesn't give you a good look at the baseball.
Sanchez thought it was outside, but not so, says Guccione. Numbers on Victor, 12th appearance. Here's the 1-1. Chop to the right side, foul. Pretty good night for Sanchez. Double, bunt single, run scored. Two and two. Tigers have dropping all 6 on the road trip, trying to win 3 out of 4 now. But they win here tonight. Rolled foul again. We have had 23 hits in this game, 12 of them for the Tigers, 11 for Chicago. And again, the 2-2. Swing and a miss. Sanchez finally retired. 1 gone. Well, you don't want to miss tomorrow night's Tigers White Sox game. Join us for another Fox Sports feature, Tigers Hall of Fame, where we highlight all of the Detroit Tigers that have made it to Cooperstown. All your coverage begins at 6 right here on Fox Sports Detroit. .47 joined the wall yesterday. Jack Morris. Jose Abreu with an RBI. He also has a single. Got a sac fly early in the game.
Told you a little earlier that Abreu is a .315 hitter the second half of the season. At least that's what he's done in his first 4 years in the big leagues. He only bats .282 first half of the season, so he gets better as the year goes on.
On pace for 46 doubles this year. Made his second All-Star team this season as well.
And the team was so deep, Abreu had to bat 9th.
That's still as funny as all get out.
He bat 9th. I mean, 9th. I mean, think about that lineup for a minute. I mean, you had Betts, you had Trout, you had JD, you had Judge, you had Machado, you had. I'm leaving somebody out.
Well, yeah.
A lot of, you had Lindor, Ramirez.
Yeah.
I mean, it was sick.
What if you rolled out that team on a nightly basis over the course of 162? How many would they win?
Oh, my goodness. You might not lose again.
No, especially with that staff that they rolled out there as well. The 0-2. Rolled foul. Right, Nick Capra, who made a nice little play.
A.J. Hint said that when he made the lineup out, he had to go to Jose, and before he posted the lineup, apologized to him.
Great problem to have. Somebody's got a bad ninth.
Altuve mixed him too. He was in that starting lineup.
Right.
I guess when it comes right down to it, there's really nowhere for you to bat.
Nope. Again, somebody's got to hit in that 9-hole, and I'm sure whoever was going to be was probably had never done it all season. Alcantara trying to finish off Abreu.
He's thrown a lot of strikes. 11 pitches for Alcantara, and 9 of those have been strikes.
Got him. Abreu is out of there. 2 gone, and a couple of strikeouts for Victor Alcantara.
Looked like a breaking ball that didn't do a whole lot up in the strike zone, but he was able to get Abreu to swing right through it.
Time to get that final out. Here is Daniel Palka. In there, strike 1. Tigers had Shane Green warming up, but when they got the additional 3 runs in the 8th, they brought in Alcantara instead. Swing and a miss, 0-2 on Palka. 1 strike away.
Good pitch there by Alcantara. Pulled a string on Daniel.
Palka with 3 hits tonight, all singles. Got him, strike 3. Alcantara strikes out the side, and the Tigers win game 1 of the series. Now we send you to the Coliseum Studios. Matt Shepard, Tigers Live postgame.
Mario, a lot to talk about. Detroit wipes out the White Sox and now have beaten them 9 of the last 10. A massive night, a first ever night for Nick Castellanos. Don't let his night overshadow James McCann, what he did offensively and defensively. And Mickey York talks with the players of the game as well as manager Ron Gardenhire and what he noticed most about his offense. Tigers Live post-game edition on a Monday night from Comerica Park on Fox Sports Detroit is next.